Hi, everybody. Welcome back. It's Sunday. We're having fun. We're gonna have drama. There's gonna be more drama. There's so much drama happening. It is Sunday. Welcome to the channel. Hey, everybody. I am your friendly neighborhood Prax, and tonight is Romance of the Blue Rose, and we are going to go around and let a bunch of my friends say who they are playing, and we are going to see what interesting things happen. Realized that I have to change the counter because you don't have 3 conviction points, you only have 1 at the moment. But so to my left, hey Pooja, how you doing? How you feeling? How's the day going?
Hello. Hey everybody, I'm Pooja. You see me here on Sundays playing Delmay Ferox, our neighborhood reckless adept. And I have been having a pretty good weekend. It's been filled with a lot of work, so I'm ready to wrap it up with some fun before heading into yet another work week.
Fun is always to be had. And then on the bottom row, hey Trooper, how are you? How's your day going?
Hello, I am the Trooper. How's my day going? I slept in late, but i.e. I just got like an extra hour or so sleep, but I've been underslept. And then I did all these dishes, which was really great. And then I brought out the Comet and I cleaned all the countertops, and I feel really good about that. I have not yet played my banjo today, so I probably won't, but I will eventually. It'll happen. So I'm feeling pretty good, actually. I'm feeling pleased and well rested, and yeah, I'm feeling good. And I shouldn't say this because nobody needs to know, but I ordered something that will be coming in the mail soon. I mean, it's just like a thing. I ordered some bleach, so I might just redo my beard coming up soon. So there might be a little bit of dyeing going on there, I'm thinking purple this time. We'll see. That's how I am. And Russ, who I am playing, Russet, the Rhyhawk, which is a large psychic animal. They're like animals, but they actually have sentient being souls. And my hawk, who's a red-shouldered hawk, is how are they doing? I feel like they're doing well enough. I mean, there's sort of a general low level bit of stress here and there going on, but they're back home in the city, and pretty soon they'll be, they get to be off duty. They get to be a little bit more relaxed. So that's very nice. There is some mystery going on that, is a little bit distressing because that mystery might involve there being threats to his friends and co-workers' lives, and he doesn't really know all the information. And his whole calling in life is to transmit that knowledge, and doesn't have it all, so it's stressful. That's all. But he's generally okay. They're not in the past or being chased by a vampire at the door. So generally speaking, it's not as bad as it could be. He's okay.
Okay. Oh, that's what you're worrying about. Okay. Hey,
What?
Lindy.
You have to worry about
Who should he be worried about? I was not here last week because my husband had a birthday and we did birthday stuff.
Oh no, I mean, you weren't here because your character was kidnapped by a vampire, and so sorry, Frax,
unsurprising. Not shocked. Yeah, hi, I'm Lindy. Laugh Love Lindy. You can find me online and offline trying to fend off my cat from my food. Normal everyday stuff. But tonight I am playing Ritka Sokolov. And, she's used to be Kurnish Knight of the Skull, and she has a really great wyvern. He's a really good boy. And
Yes,
gonna
he
lean
is.
here so the cat doesn't jump up. And just chilling, having a great time. I had an orgy and talked about some plants, so I think she was in a good spot when last we saw her. When last I saw her.
She was fine. I mean, she stayed
Yeah.
at the villa, avoided people. Other people did other things, and they went around the city. Delmay decided to take Vashard around and, show off her side of town, you know, what she loves about the town. There was a full montage of hitting every important street vendor for street food. As you do.
Mhm.
It's very important. Then Delmay decided to introduce, well, and then Russ went to report in, well, really, no, it was less formal than that because Saren didn't want it to be formal. She needed to have a conversation with her bird son instead of her subordinate, but you know, sometimes it's really complicated when you are like
both.
But she you know, it was an important conversation to be had.
Yeah.
No.
He loves his two-legged mom.
Yes, and hopefully, you know, now he can understand where she's coming from. And, you know, begin working on his issues. We'll see.
We'll see.
And
He
then,
liked his old job.
yeah, well,
She's like, no, kicking out of the nest. And he's like, out of the nest, what?
no, not out of the nest. Kicking you out of the, you know, the, you know, it's like, you have a job you need to do. And I need you to do a lot of work because I am actually, you know, the superior officer. And you know what? I was letting you get away with being an emo child for a while. And now there are issues where I can no longer do that. And then Delmay took Vishard and Russ to meet her very good friend.
It turns out it was a different friend than the one that Russ had met.
La biblioteca.
Yes, the library. Apparently, there was some tension between individuals. Well, the library and individuals, I should say.
Really individual.
Yeah, that's true. Individual.
Yeah, I don't know who that was, though. That's weird.
I mean...
Who could it be?
I don't
know who it was.
Yeah.
I
The
feel
person who
like it's
immediately went and interrogated the library about its soul.
Like, do you have a soul? That's like...
No, what
I don't
kind
know
of
you
soul
like
do you have?
that.
What kind of soul do you
Exactly.
have was the question.
Like,
That's
I don't know you like that.
I
That's like...
do not have...
And also got very upset when the library was concerned about other individuals.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. But, I feel like we should pick up shortly thereafter. Ritka, you
Who
have...
we did talk about
What?
last session. There was a whole conversation about Ritka.
Yes.
Her ears must have been burning.
I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she probably sneezed because I imagine that's like an anime. Achoo. Oh, who's talking about me?
Exactly.
Mhm.
There was the moment where we're gonna wind the clock forward just a little bit. Vishard has decided to take his half of the menagerie back to the villa because cities are okay, but
Mm-hmm.
he's not a city person. And Delmay, you wanted to introduce some of your other friends to another friend of yours, I believe.
Yes. I don't know. I think we would have gone back to pick them up.
Okay.
Who would have wanted to come instead of expecting them to kind of,
Meet you there.
especially the Kernish folk. I think it would be better to accompany them. So Delmay and I'm assuming everybody went back together, but then
Yeah.
like a smaller contingent heads out from the villa.
So a smaller contingent is heading out from the villa.
Wait, why are we going back to the villa?
To go pick up Ritka and Cecilia and well, actually, whoever wants to come from the house.
Go where?
we're gonna go meet one of my friends at her really cool bar. I think. Remember when my mom talked about it? And
I didn't know who she was talking about.
well,
It was all a little bit mysterious.
You're gonna find out,
Mm.
Russ. It's gonna be a relaxed time with friends.
I can do relaxed time with friends.
I look forward to seeing it.
I'm often relaxed.
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see how. Well, I would like to see relaxed Russ not on a mission. See if that differs at all from relaxed Russ on a mission.
Yeah. Where are we going?
Well, let's go home first, and then I'll explain it to everybody.
All right. I'll scout ahead on the walk just to.
We're going to a bar.
A villa,
Russ.
but we're going.
After the villa, we're going to be going to a bar.
Is it an expensive bar or is it a cheap bar?
It's my treat.
No, I meant, like, is it a white tie sort of bar?
No,
for two-legged people,
no.
or like a?
No, it's not a fancy bar. It's a relaxed bar.
Is it a dive bar?
Depends on where you're diving from.
So I assume right now it's just Delmay and Russ in the psychic phone call.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Simon's probably talking. Not Simon. Bashard is talking to the animals. He's in a different psychic call.
So if it's just in the psychic call, he would say, "Because I might know something about diving." Because
Are all wait, Russ? Are all bars dive bars for you?
Yes. Because
yeah.
That was.
Come here. And Delmay's gonna hold out her like.
And
high,
Russ will just kind of like
high
bonk
oh,
bonk his head against your hand. That was a joke.
I loved it. I want more.
Well, don't tell anybody I said it. They might get ideas.
But what if those ideas are beautiful and wonderful and end to more jokes?
No, just that was for you.
Thank you. But also, you're a tease.
Maybe. I'll tell you what. I was gonna fly out ahead, but I won't. I'll just sit on your shoulder.
Sweet. All right. Let's go and you can tell me all about what Rhyhawks such as yourself get to drink in bars.
Oh,
because I don't think you were there with us.
No, I was on a mission.
Time. Yeah, that ended in truth or drink. Yeah, it was a good night. Ooh, Russ, would you play truth or drink?
I don't know about that. What exactly are the rules of truth or drink?
We ask questions and you either tell the truth or take a drink of an intoxicant.
I don't.
Which begs the question: can you get intoxicated?
I can, but I don't.
Even in safe company?
No, I don't like getting intoxicated.
That's fair. Well, you can make sure we don't die.
I can. That tends to be what I like to do. It's where I feel most comfortable, making sure people don't die.
Far be it from me to deprive you of a good time, Russ.
I have a good time. I have good times all the time. I'm a very fun person.
If making sure we don't die is a good time to you, like, well, make it happen.
Well, that's not what I consider a good time. I would consider it the thing that you do. I have other things that I do for good times.
Can we help in it? Like, can you do it at the same time while we're having a good time so that, it's a good time for all?
Are you asking me what it is that I do for a good time?
Yes.
I feel like you shouldn't even ask that question because that puts me on the spot. Then I have to actually answer it, and I'd have to have an answer that I could give you. And I feel like that would be difficult to do because I really do have good times all the time, very often, very frequently. It's just that it's difficult for me to actually say it out loud at the moment.
Okay, why don't you think about it? And hey, how about this? The next time we're out and you're having a good time, why don't you look at me and just tap your beak, and I'll tap my nose right back at you, and we'll both know you're having a good time. And that way, you're not under pressure right now to figure out when that is.
Right, because I mean, all the time. I do all the very fun things all the time.
Yeah,
quite often.
Of course. So yeah, next time it happens, just a little boop, boop.
Right. So I don't want you to think that I'm like a stick in the mud who doesn't have fun, because I do all the time.
Yeah. Well, I look forward to seeing this while we are in between missions.
Oh, wait. Now don't get spoiled. I'm a regular party animal. Huh? Don't get spoiled. And also don't tell anybody I made those jokes.
I think you just hear, like, so I think to everybody else, they'll just see Delmay randomly bust into applause while walking. And I'm pretty sure they're all just like, yeah, okay. That tracks.
So upon your return to the villa, you will discover Ritka, Fedor, Dmitri, Carnage. Cecilia has left the villa. She has said that she has returned home. There was a message sent that there were some things that she needs to deal with from a business standpoint, paperwork. Home ownership is complicated. She's been out in the field for like 6 months. There, things have developed that she needs to deal with. So she has retreated to her abode, but she will catch up with you in the future. In the near future. Like tomorrow, maybe? Possibly. Vishard informs that he, Asen, and Ragnar are going to just chill outside because it's too much city and people and things.
Question. Did people already come by the villa to talk? Because I know that was threatened when the last I played.
No. There was a message sent that requested... Saren sent a personal message to request that Russ, Bouchard, and Delmay come into the city because she needed to speak with them and not to worry about other things, that your guests are now welcome.
Sure. So Britka's still probably like, Britka's still not at ease. And so I think she has wrangled Fedor and Dmitri into some carnage maintenance, because you gotta make sure your wyvern's well taken care of. We've been on the road this whole time and we haven't been able to give him a good, clean down and make sure his claws are filed and everything's good.
Make sure
nothing stuck in his teeth. Adjust his bow. Make sure he is preened as hell for if she wants Carnage to look his best for if people are going to come by and judge them, So I think that's probably what Delmay comes back to. Delmay and Russ and Vishard come back to is them finishing up making Carnage pristine.
There's polishing going on.
There's a lot of polishing. It takes a while.
Ooh, that's a pretty boy.
He doesn't say anything. He just kind of shakes himself like he knows that you're talking about him.
Yeah. Delmay will go and I don't know. Does Carnage like scritches? What is Carnage like? Okay, Carnage definitely
scritches, pats,
a good double handful of fluffs and scritches and loves.
He likes it. He enjoys it. He probably has good the eyes closed,
And he'll shift and put his head no, behind that horn. There we go.
Aww. Yeah.
That's
All the love.
All the love. But yes. Now,
was your trip productive?
Yes. Yes.
Good.
I think we got a good amount of things done.
There's danger.
Well, I mean, different danger, new danger.
Yep.
no.
Wonderful.
But I was thinking that maybe we could go out tonight after
Is that
dinner.
allowed?
No one stopped us this morning.
You were also summoned.
Was I?
The letter?
Who summoned me.
Yeah. We were.
I mean,
I was.
we can try.
Differently, separately.
If you think that is wise.
Well, it depends on what happens. I would not
Listen,
recommend inappropriate behavior.
no. But as for going out and seeing town, I would ask. I would rather ask for forgiveness than permission.
I feel like
We're
we're
not
already
on-
asking for a lot of forgiveness.
I think you should always ask permission instead of asking for forgiveness.
I know
So
you
that you
do.
do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
But here's the thing, Russ. We don't really know who we should be asking for permission from right now. The forgiveness part would be easier because then you just ask for forgiveness from whoever's angry.
I don't.
But anyway, all we're doing is going to a pub to have a
Meet a-
drink.
To
And
meet
a
a friend
chat.
of Delmay's.
And yes, I can introduce you to a friend of mine because she's real cool and her pub's real cool. And I did mention the place to Mom and introducing you to her, and so she knows, like, ish.
If
She
you
may not
remember-
know when we were planning on going, but she wouldn't be surprised.
That if we
that
were
way.
not here and someone asked about us, she could direct them to where we would be.
Yeah, I can also just call her and leave a message and tell her we're going, like, if that matters. But once again, how about I call her once we're there?
Now, I'm just going to note
could
for
be
the
like-
record, I'm going to just register this, that conversation that you had with your mother, I did not hear all of it. I heard a bit of it, but not all of it. The conversation about this friend of yours seemed to have been, well, if I remember correctly, your mother was like, oh, you're going to show them her. Oh, as if perhaps there might be something unwise about doing so. And then you were like, it's fine.
Well, if you were easily scandalized folks, I might think about giving you warnings. But well,
Scandalized by what?
free sexual choices people can make?
Why would you be scandalized by that?
I don't know. Some people are.
I'm very easily scandalized, I like to think.
Mm.
But I
But
would
you're also wise.
But I don't know why I'd be scandalized by free sexual choices. That doesn't seem scandalous at all.
I
I'd
know.
be scandalized by things
Eh,
like people not turning in
it's-
their paperwork.
somewhat
See, that's what I told
scandalized
Mom. It'll
in
be fine.
turn.
I
Wait,
stand by my assertion that it's going to be fine if I take
Wait.
you all there.
What goes on in Kern?
Well, no, that would be somewhat scandalous in Kern. But depending on how free you are with
Wait.
your choices.
Not turning your paperwork would be scandalous in Kern as well? That's
Oh,
understandable.
no, that would definitely be
free
scandalous. But
sexual
also
choices.
free
Oh.
sexual choices. Both of those things, really.
Free sexual choices seem fine, but paperwork, that seems quite scandalous.
Oh yeah. Well, Russ, I think as long as no one's going to be scandalized by something like free consenting sexual choices, I think it could be fun. Let's go have
So,
some fun.
This isn't about paperwork then. I suppose we'll be
No.
Hmm.
This is about having a good relaxed time with your friends.
Maybe leave a note on the counter for your that way you don't have to reach out, but they can see it like in like on a
That's a very good thing. If somebody comes here looking for us,
Mhm.
we'll put a-
There will be notes in very obvious place.
fine.
Yes,
I'm gonna
yes.
just make a
And-
small point.
Mhm.
Carnage should not come. I do not think that would be a good idea.
No, we haven't. And no one's had a talk with us about Carnage yet, but he's ready for talk now. He is
Okay.
pristine.
I think Carnage should stay here in the villa.
We won't fit
Not-
in the villa.
I think he's fine in the backyard. We have guards.
No, I meant the villa as like a location, not a.
Oh yes, the
At the
grounds.
villa. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's. I think. Let's have some dinner, and then we can catch you up on our day.
All right.
And then after that, we can head on over to the Soul's Flame.
Who's gonna be there?
My friend Lisea?
Anybody else?
Probably. It's a
People
it's
that
a-
we
it's a
know?
pub. Oh, I don't know. I mean, she's pretty popular and has friends, so I might run into some acquaintances. But I don't know for sure anyone else who's going to be there. But
Sovereign's
practically
finest?
sure.
Do they go?
Unlikely.
Hmm.
We're not really going to a part of town higher ups would want to frequent or be seen to frequent, which is the entire reason to go there.
I don't understand that statement, but all right.
Have you well, I only really know the Crass. Okay. Have you heard the statement about not defecating where you eat?
Why would you do that? That seems like
You
a bad
wouldn't,
idea.
right?
No.
So if your employer provides you money and then food is where you eat,
Which they
you
do.
want to do anything they would consider untoward away from them.
I wouldn't do anything they would consider untoward anywhere.
I mean, some people consider defecating in a public place untoward. Like, but defecating itself is not untoward. It's about the where, right? It's about the location and the time. So we're gonna do something that has location and a time, and it's not near where we work.
All right.
Some things are acceptable in some places and they are not acceptable in other places.
Yeah.
This all's a little bit mysterious to me. Seems a little bit ominous, but I'm gonna go find some dinner.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll
And we'll
be
have
back.
our dinner.
Delme, I might need you later before we get to this place. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Just let me know.
We'll see.
I'll be right here.
I'm gonna find a squirrel or something. A small sparrow or something delicious. Excuse me.
Was that Russ salivating?
No idea.
I've never heard Russ be like, squirrel.
He must be very
Delicious.
hungry.
I know.
You should hear Carnage when he's very hungry. He's-
Oh, as long as it's not, Delme, I would love to hear.
This is why we do not let him get too hungry.
That's a good point.
Russ is gonna hit the air, the sky bar for food.
We just hit Delme's house for food.
Yeah, I'm
Great time.
It'll be delicious.
And then maybe we like get ready to go out,
Yeah, let's do it.
braid our hair, whatever.
Yeah.
So, look, Delme, are you dressing up to go to the Soul's Flame?
No, I think it would technically be called dressing down, but she's dressing differently to go out. Like, she's not gonna wear Delme, like, because I think I said that, since she's coming back, she's not in her sovereign's finest normal clothing. She's in her own normal clothing, so she's changing into something different, something that wouldn't stand out in the Lake Ward.
Rika would ask to borrow an outfit for the night.
Yeah.
Because
We've definitely got
she
Yeah.
only has like a set of Revka clothes and Sovereign's finest stuff. So
Yeah. Like, I don't know what their time period's equivalent of, like, skinny black jeans, a leather jacket, and combat boots is, but that's kind of the vibes we're going for here. Like
tight
a-
leather pants, corset, and an overbust corset with off the shoulder, and a leather jacket on top. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
the rogue
The Ren Fair
Fair
look.
look.
Yes,
Nice.
exactly. That's kind of the vibes we're going for here.
Nice.
Delmay doesn't do hers is a mix of blacks and browns because she always has a little bit of browns going on. But there's definitely enough for Ritka and are the Kernish boys coming, Ritka? Or DM?
that,
Or
you
no?
know,
The
you'd
Kernish
have to ask
boys,
them.
the Kernish boys, if they are invited, will join you at a dive bar.
They're
Oh, yeah.
definitely invited.
Let's go.
I mean, it's Dimitri. Let's put
I
it
know
this way.
Dimitri would be down.
Yeah.
Dimitri wants to go to the
Fedor.
dive bar, and Fedor doesn't want to leave Dimitri alone at a dive bar
Yes.
in Aldis.
That's fair.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Ritka would be like, I'll watch him, but
And
might be best if you just
and
came
Fedor's
along.
eyebrow just keeps raising. Like, really. I know you're going. Try convincing yourself of that first.
He'll be like, you have not been drinking with me in 5 years.
And then he just kind of like side glances at Delmay. It's like, you're really going to be looking at Dimitri?
Hey, I have been drinking with her in the last 5 years.
No. My point is, I don't think she's going to be looking at Dimitri.
Oh, yeah, no.
I've learned how to divide my attention better since coming to all this.
Okay, and I'll just link ours with Ritka and start walking. And then I'm assuming is Vashard still gonna stay with his boys for a little bit.
Yeah, Vashard's going to stay.
I'll leave. I'll definitely give Vashard another piece of paper that has like the name and the approximate directions to the Soul's Flame,
Mhm.
so that if he gets bored while waiting, I don't know if Cecilia is even going to come back today, but if he gets bored at some point, he can join.
Vashard
Shouldn't
reminds
be
me of one of
hard.
those introverts that needs to like take a little bit of personal time a little bit. You know, he's like, I've been around two people a little bit too much. I need to have some alone time.
Look, you took me on a tour of the city.
Yeah.
It was fun, but now
It was also a culinary. He might just need a nap. It was a culinary tour of the city.
Food coma.
Yeah, and so but she'll, I think besides giving him the address so that if he gets bored he can come, there's also the giving them address in that like if we call you for help, you know where to come.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's no I guess we have psychic calls, but we don't have like cell phones, right? Like there's no like texting like SOS.
No, it's a psychic connection. You can just pop into his mind and no one would know.
Yeah.
And
All right.
it's not limited by distance and there are no roaming charges.
You can still have a party line.
Exactly. So you make your way back into the city, back through the wards to the Soul's Flame, which is...
Before we get to the Soul's Flame, because we can't get there just like that. Russ will be like, dummy,
Yes.
I might need you
Mm-hmm.
for something.
Okay.
All right, so be ready. Could you
Tonight?
now.
Now, okay.
All right, could you just stand right here and not go anywhere?
Yes.
I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'm gonna go, then I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right. So don't go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Russ
And
is
I
gonna
think
fly
you'll
off.
see Whisper sit down right next by Delmay's feet, like we're planting.
Russ is gonna fly off. He's already had dinner. And it'd be like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes maybe, probably, before Russ comes back with something in his beak. And he'll like land on your shoulder. He's like, all right, don't say anything. Don't be weird about this. Okay, you ready? Could you please take this, what is in my beak?
Okay.
And he drops it in your hand. It's like a a black leather shield with straps on it, like very small. It's sort of a I would say fancy, but it's not necessarily fancy, right? Because it's not like satin or silk or anything like that. But it's like a little shield that you could like strap onto a bird. That's got like a little design. It's like a a version of clothing, as it were, of like we want to look nice.
Yeah.
So you could put that on me and puts his wings out so that you have access.
Sure.
Mm.
And Delme will help accessorize this incredibly handsome Rhyhawk.
I haven't been out in a while, so I thought I'd thank you. I don't have opposable thumbs, I don't.
No
can't.
worries.
All right, all right, thank you.
You're good at this accessorizing thing. That's a very smart choice.
It was a present.
Yeah, well, my compliments to the gift giver then.
Well, if we're gonna go out.
Yes.
Okay, I'm ready.
Alrighty, let's go. And I think Dalme will in a move I'm sure folks will remember from the college years, you kind of round out the group and you all head out together doors to begin your night out. Yep. And then you always have that one person in the front that's kind of like, it's the only person that knows what direction they're going in because everyone's kind of chit-chatting and just moving their legs and not paying attention. Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
It's what's worse is trying to wrangle everyone really drunk back to the hotel.
Yeah.
Oh,
in a city you've never
bad.
been in before.
Yeah. You could kind of think of kind of like a breastplate. You know what I mean? Like that kind of like a that breast has like a decorative breastplate.
Yeah.
So you make your way back into the city, and you make your way towards the Lake District. And you know that there are two places that are technically called the Soul's Flame. One is a very famous smithy in the Steel Court and is like the home of the Smith's Guild. It's where a lot of enchanted weaponry is made. That's not where you're going. The other Soul's Flame is in Everlamp, the east side of the city in the Lake District. Over here. Eastern side of the city along the dock areas, the sunken areas of the cities where a large number of the sea folk live now. It's not a seedy bar, but it's not a shiny high-class establishment where with frou-frou drinks named after fancy folk.
So it's a dive bar?
It's a bar.
It's a bar, okay.
Like, well, it's a bar and other type of establishment.
Yeah.
Brothel.
Saloon. It's a saloon.
There is music that plays. They're close enough to the Academy of Dance that a number of the student crowd, the older student crowd who aren't really, because there's the young student crowd who want to go to the place or the closest place, the place to be seen or the closest place to drink. Those are the two options that the younger students will go to because...
Yep. Well, and usually the latter is on their way to the former.
Yeah, exactly.
Closest place to drink, then go to the place to be seen.
Exactly. And then, because the closest place to drink is always going to be cheaper. But this is a bar that's kind of more the Soul's Flame caters more to the locals and but they're close enough that the occasional upper level student will come because they'll be given a chance to perform. right? It's like, if you
Yeah.
can convince Lysaea that you're decent, she will let you try.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't let underclassmen try.
That makes sense. Yeah.
You're like, nah, we're not your experimental, like, performance art venue. Come back when you've got, like, a little bit of your idealism polished off and you're actually understand what you're going to be doing, and I don't have to protect you from drunks who will probably want to throw bottles at you.
Yep.
The bar building that you come to is, again, like most of the older buildings in Aldis, terracotta tiled roofs, red brick and stucco, columns around the front and outside. There's lush purple and blues as the window hangings, and then as you come through, there's like a awning that kind of comes off the second story that kind of looks over the water. There are a couple tables out here, but mostly they're people who are out here are like small groups with the small groups who are drinking slowly and talking and enjoying themselves, but don't want to be too, like, want to listen to the music but don't want to be that close, so they I mean, you're not having to worry about being right next to the speaker, but, you know, still want to have a little bit of distance. They're also the group that is, you know, smoking outside because Lysaea doesn't really want anybody smoking in her bar. And as you come in and push open the door, you're greeted by this sounds of music and, laughter and just a overall good vibe. It's not like a club, but there's enough positive vibes going on. Lysaea is standing behind the bar, holding court at the moment. She is a taller, statuesque woman of color, dark her skin tone, but with eyes that are more if you were to consider she's more Ethiopian than South African. And
I think there's a picture of her too.
Yeah, there is a picture in the NPC doc. And she is standing in this with this gorgeous gold and red and red and black high-waisted or number with gold embroidery. Her hair is up with a number of gold pins. Lysaea is very obviously from the matriarchy of Latria. And she is here. You can, as you walk through the crowd, she's holding court at the bar and laughing and pouring drinks, but she will make eye contact with Delme and smile and then nod her head towards the table, Delme, that you've frequently, it's not quite your table, it's her table. But you've been there enough, you know, and you're a close enough friend that you can just make your way to her table and eventually she will come and join you. It's kind of like off the side of the little small stage there is on the main floor, the upper floors being, you know, a number of rooms on the upper floors for various things that people wish to partake in and enjoy. All 100% legal in this country. But you, it's like slightly rounded booth where she can, you know, if she takes the time to come and sit and have a drink or sit down, she can view all of her domain and nothing gets by, like I say.
Yeah. Delme will, of course, return the nod and the smile and usher the party to that table to sit down and have a drink while we wait for Lysaea.
Within moments of sitting down, one of the other barmaids, a younger sea folk with a very like teal green kind of complexion, But interestingly enough, they've kind of gone very white with the makeup highlighters and eyeliner, and it does a lot to highlight the face, but in a very intentionally androgynous look. And they will bring you a round of drinks and then just disappear back to waiting tables and working.
Excellent.
Shots, there's a row of shots, and then there's a couple glasses of ale or beer.
Alrighty. Delme will pass along the shots. Of course, not to Russ, but to everybody else, and we'll say, well, let's get this evening of relaxation we have thoroughly earned started. Cheers.
Dimitri is already, the minute you say it, he's like, yeah, cheers, and then flips it.
Yep.
Whew.
Feel like this would be better done after all the administrative stuff is done, but I suppose we could come back a second time.
Yes. And also, I think this is a much better way to spend time than just sitting around wondering what's going to happen.
I'm sure whatever will happen will be fine.
Yeah. This is still a fun way to kill time, though.
Yeah, I imagine it will be fine.
Sure.
So,
Well, it will be fair. 100%.
What were you about to say, Delme?
I was going to ask you a question, but I think I got distracted by Russ saying whatever happens will be fair, and I really hope that is the case, but I don't know.
It certainly will be the case. Unfairness is not right, and we won't
do we
something
know
that is not right.
Do we know who ultimately will be adjudicating?
I don't know. But this is Aldis. This is not some other place. Aldis is a place where, well, our monarch is chosen, tested to be pure of heart. This is not a place of, well, this is a good place. This is a place where people are kind and good.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know that as long as we have all the information, as much information as possible, all the relevant information, the proper, fair, kind, and good result will come from this.
You are very idealistic, Russ. And then she just takes another swig.
It's not actually idealism, it's just how it is.
I mean, if any place can live up to that ideal, I do think it's this one.
Oh.
I think it'd be one thing if Russ was being this idealistic about, Kern, but I don't think Kern has ever made promises or would make you think that would allow you to expect that, I guess.
I have a very important question. From a DM perspective. Russ, have you allowed Fedor and Dimitri into this group call?
No. Well, it depends on who made the group call, right? That's because it depends on who made it.
If Delme made it, she would have, because we're at a table. Yeah. And it's one of those things where, like, I think, but it would be the practice where they're at a table, they're not going to be silent, but it's the automatic, we make a group call, but we say everything out loud, and the group call is mostly for Russ.
Yeah.
But
we are talking out loud.
Yeah, you talking out loud is one thing, but Fedor and Dimitri would have a different response if they didn't hear
Mhm.
Russ's
Russ.
comment.
Yes.
But I think Delme would have made the call when the
It is
drinks
her
came and
taking us
everything.
out on the town.
yeah,
So that
yeah,
makes sense. Yeah, so Fedora and
Yeah, and we
Dimitri
probably
are
had
in the
this
call.
call the whole walk over, right? Like this.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but anyway,
I look forward to seeing if your idealism pays off, Mr. Russ.
This is not idealism. There are practical things. I'm not particularly idealistic, I'm much more practical. And there are practical things at play here. Ugh. Mm.
well, Russ, they haven't necessarily had the chance to be treated with or confronted by that level of goodness. So, I think
Well,
it'd be a welcome surprise for them.
well, they're gonna just have to go and learn. Because Aldis is different. Partly because they still have a bunch of Ryhawk here and Ryden in general. It's a different sort of a place.
It is very different.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet it's one of those like, well, I don't believe it, but I wouldn't mind being proven wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ridka gets it with Fedora. She's just trying to be nice, polite. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I was muted. Fedor doesn't say anything, but yeah. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
One of these days, you'll have to learn about Aldis and how it came to be, and how it works. Because I feel like you probably didn't learn well about this place. I don't know what kind of things they told you in Kern about it.
I'd be curious to hear.
What did you learn about us?
A great question. Probably that y'all are pretty awful, if I had to take a guess. Because Kern is obviously better.
Well,
than
Kern is
everyone
better,
else.
but Kern is...
Wouldn't I get murdered on sight in Kern?
Maybe not murdered.
Well, no, she's Vata on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, probably. Well, maybe not murdered on sight, but you'd be reported to someone who would then come murder you.
Well, no.
Oh,
also,
okay.
Also, you might not actually be murdered on sight because you are
You might
enough
be-
of an adept
Yeah.
to be useful.
That's
yes.
that's why I was like, maybe not. I mean,
Oh,
maybe.
death or
You'd
slavery.
be reported
Cool.
for sure. Yeah.
You would serve the government.
So, I hate to say it, Ritka, but there goes that whole Kern is better theory.
No, I'm just. You asked what we were taught that Kern was the best.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, at least,
so-
hey, that's one thing I'm sure you're taught, that like my people suck.
There's that.
Right?
And then there's, the pollution and degradation of all peoples caused by the various Raiden.
Yep. Russ's people suck. My people suck. High five, Russ.
Don't have hands.
Solid. Well,
Yeah,
wing
Bart-
five.
oh.
There you go. Solidarity. It's a new thing we're doing.
Right.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, at least in comparison, I think Aldis has at least always tried for tolerance. So I'm hoping
There's
that
not a lot
continues
of
to
that
be-
in Kern.
Yeah, well, I would run away too.
This is a very complicated question. I mean, did we really run away? Dimitri is like tactical retreat. I think that was a tactical retreat. It's not running away if they're actively chasing you.
It's a tactical move to relocate to a different country and seek asylum.
So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. So you were running toward.
Yes.
Exactly. And
Fair.
running away kind of gives the impression that it was a more
was a
thought out
choice.
choice. The more thought out choice.
More thought out, yes.
Because
Okay.
I mean, like the choice was not dying.
Yeah.
That's a good choice.
Oh, you could always choose to die, so it
Respect
is a
that
choice.
You're
but
very
not an
morbid.
equal choice.
It's not morbid. I mean, it is a choice, and you made one.
I mean, I always expected to die for Kern, so
I mean, dying for
my
Kern is
choice.
acceptable, but
Right.
you know, it didn't really. And by this point, Fedor is just kind of like stretched his arm around the side of the booth behind
like
Dimitri,
Dimitri.
like
Yeah.
just.
You know, it's a choice, but I think dying would be the. I think it's safe to say that'd be a non-ideal choice.
I mean, dying in battle is one thing, but having your entire essence sucked out to in a magical ritual to bring the Lich King back from the dead. I mean, that's not really a choice I want to make.
That's fair. Hey, and you made the choice you made, and now you're sitting here, having a drink with us. So could have been worse.
You could have had your soul sucked out of your body.
I know.
Yeah, I'm not the. And Dimitri's kind of. Anyone else, Delme, and you would expect Dimitri to have started to that unconscious body behavior to lean in into Fedor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dimitri doesn't. And it's not because he objects to Fedor's arm around, or anything, or even that but it's almost like an ingrained natural habit not to.
Yeah. I think Delme will recognize that, but instead of saying anything, I think she's going to kind of lean into Ritka and like make a very obvious to anyone who's seeing that there's something there between these two people. So it's more of like a show by example that it's okay, rather than like be like, oh hey, you don't have to worry about that here, right? Like, because she doesn't want to have to. She figures showing is stronger than telling anyway. But yeah.
Ritka, what is your reaction to Delme's action movement?
I think she's very similar as to Dimitri. She's not used to PDA yet, because it wasn't anything she did in Kern, and then that wasn't anything she did for 5 years as impersonating her sister, because she had no idea what her sister was like. And then when they've been traveling, it's felt more private because it's just been like the 5 of them. But we're in a pub now, and so I think she and Dimitri are very similar. Like, yes, we are sitting upright. We are.
But also we're at a brothel, and like so look around.
I don't think Ritka's figured that out yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, if you look around, I'm just saying, like, I'm sure there's far
I don't
more.
think she's looked around a lot yet due to the topic of conversation.
Yeah,
She's
there's
been
far more.
hello,
P.
drink.
There's far more A on D out there.
Yeah,
In
once
all
she
the
looks
definitions
around,
of that
she'll-
term.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, I was just
Once she
talking
looks
about, like,
around, she'll put
affection
it
on display.
together.
Yeah.
But for the time being, she's more just looking into her drink and at the table, because she's not loving this topic of conversation.
Yeah.
Because she's just nervous. She's
Yeah.
like, help me, drink. You're my only hope.
Well, hey, we're not out here tonight to fret about tomorrow. So
This is
let's
true.
have another round tonight.
Let's
Yes,
have
that is-
another round tonight.
That is a good idea. Yes.
Huh.
Do you know why Aldis is called the Kingdom of the Blue Rose?
Because you have a creepy Raiden that will come and, bring a rose scepter that may or may not actually be an existence of, Oh, you know it. You would know the answer to this, Delma. You don't even have to roll. You grew up here.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Is she having a brain fart?
No. Oh, okay. Her having a brain fart is a different thing. You would have the knowledge, but whether you can access at the moment is separate. You have the knowledge. You know it.
Yeah.
And you trust the non-entity to preserve your existence.
First off, the Golden Heart is
Not non-entity, a non-physical entity. Sorry, that was GM misspoke.
Well, first off, the Golden Heart's not Raiden. It's actually the embodiment of all of the goodwill of the people of Aldis. And the Golden Heart certainly is physical at times when they manifest. But the Blue Rose Scepter was a gift that we got from the Golden Heart we ride in, and then we gave to the Two-Leggeds of Aldis. So here's the thing that you should probably...
wait, your system of government is basically some dude giving you a weapon from, the middle of nowhere? Like, I've heard about this, like, there's this whole thing about, some tart giving a dude a sword is not the basis for a system of government.
Oh, we don't have anything like that. We have no watery spirits giving swords or whatnot. That's not what that's about at all.
I'm pretty sure that I've heard a couple stories about. And Dimitri's like, I'm pretty sure I heard a couple stories about watery spirits or entities. I mean, a bunch of sea folk might just dive down and grab you a bunch of swords.
Yeah, but that's not what happens here. I know that you're worried about what's going to happen, but you have to understand that all this was formed out of goodness and acceptance and diversity. And when...
I'm pretty sure it came after, the Shadow Lords destroyed the entire empire.
Well, yeah, and then once that fell, something new was born. And the Two-Leggeds came to us, the Raiden, and said, hey, and we, the unicorns and the griffins, they created a number of rituals, which brought forth the Golden Heart in Aldis. You do not get to be a noble or a sovereign just because you were born that way. You're chosen because you're pure of heart and you have goodness and light, and the Blue Rose Scepter can determine if you have goodness and light, if you are worthy. You're not worthy because you were born or because you're strong or murderous, but you're considered worthy because you have good intent. And when the sovereign dies, the Golden Heart comes forth out of the beautiful stained glass at the palace and chooses someone who has good intentions and who is good and in their soul. And that person, they could be anyone. They could be somebody of the same royal family, or they could be one of you. They could be anyone who could be chosen as the sovereign, who is good of heart and has the best intentions. And if you lose those good intentions, the Golden Heart will return and will depose you. It's happened twice, I think, in all of our history. So I know you might be nervous about what will happen to you, but you must know the people who run this place, they are people who have been shown to be of good intent, fair and kind.
I'm pretty sure I recall a couple of your people who were good intent and good and kind ended up not being.
And they were deposed.
Also, you said the Golden Heart comes out of the stained glass window?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I look at Telma and I go, so you're saying this place has a history of things coming out of stained glass windows and grabbing you, and yet you still touched the stained glass window and almost got spaghettied.
But good things. I expected good things from the stained glass window.
It seems pretty sketchy. I don't know if I would trust stained glass in this country anymore.
No. What I'm trying to tell you...
Look, nothing comes out of the stained glass in Karn. I can just tell you that much. There's nothing coming out of stained glass windows, good, bad. It is just stained glass.
This is... The Golden Heart protects all of the people here of Aldis, and the Golden Heart is is all of our collective goodness. You have to know that this is a place of, I know you're worried, but this is not a place of cruelty. This is a place where we have built ourselves out of connecting to light and goodness. It was the gods of light that helped us do this.
Russ, I know you're trying to be helpful,
Mhm.
But you're really not.
but you're not.
Why not?
You've grown up here, yes.
Mhm.
You have your own preconceived notions of how everything is and how everything should be. Everyone has biases. We grew up in Kern. We could spin Kern in an amazing light because we know the upsides of Kern. We just also have acknowledged the downsides. I have not heard you say a single downside of all this, and therefore it really just sounds like you're trying to push it, and it's not reassuring. If anything, it's making me a little more nervous.
Well,
Because nothing can be that good.
Look, it kind of seems like you drunk in the Kool-Aid. And as somebody who did drink the Kool-Aid for a very
Yes.
long time,
Very long time.
we recognize that and can see it.
Yes. It seems like you have not moved past the
Idealization
to
phase?
the idealization phase to see the negatives and the downsides, because there are negatives and downsides to everything.
I feel like perhaps they have not actually, you don't have a really good idea of what Raiden are.
Russ, I don't think I'm trying to see if I can bridge the gap here. I think there can be negatives and downsides to things without there being malice. And I think that's the difference. That even without intending malice, sometimes bad things can happen. Bad choices can be made.
Oh, certainly.
And Aldis, I think, like any other place, has surely done things that not intending the negative consequences that have led to less than perfect results. And so I think it's not that this place is irreproachable or has never made errors. It's that the intent has never been outwardly to harm.
And that
or to
intent
discriminate.
is carried through magical ritual. It's not just you just take it on faith. There are actual arcane tools in place.
Yes, but you can always avoid those. And
Not if you
Dimitri
wanna
at
be
this
a
point is
noble.
kind of like given up on even holding on to the facade of being the playboy and drunk. It's like, you just don't need to touch the shiny.
But then you don't get to be a noble or the sovereign.
No, you get to touch it the first time, but you don't need when you can change your attitude and not have to touch it a later time. I mean, I've heard.
This is
perhaps.
true for nobles, but it's not true for the sovereign.
The sovereign doesn't have to touch the shiny every day.
But if the sovereign has become tainted, has fallen to corruption, the golden heart will awaken and remove the
You
sovereign
don't have to
from
fall to
power.
corruption to make bad decisions.
No,
Or
that
to
is
be an
true.
asshole.
Or things.
No,
Or
that's-
be,
that's also
yes,
true.
an asshole.
Certainly.
Well, is it searching for corruption in the corruption sense, or is it looking for ill will,
Bad intent.
bad
Someone was
intent,
really
malice?
uh,
Those are
Well, also,
easier
people's
barriers
intent
to trip.
is very subjective. Because
Yes.
we did a lot of things with good intentions back in Karn, but that is those would be considered not good intentions here. And someone who really believes very strongly what they are doing is right does not necessarily make it so.
Oh, for sure. People have committed all sorts of atrocities and thinking they're right.
And
But I take some comfort in the knowledge that there are attempts at checks and balances built in and I think that might be comfort
And
to
don't
more
get
than
me
just
wrong,
me.
I am very glad we are not on trial in Kern,
Mm.
but I still am not. I'm just going to be a little nervous until
Well, I mean, I don't blame you.
I cannot be as optimistic as some people.
We're telling you about to have faith in a system you've never experienced yourself, and I think I completely understand why you need to see it to believe it, given your lived experiences and all the things you've seen. So, I think in the meantime, Russ and I will have faith for you that things will turn out okay, and then.
That's fine. Just don't expect me to have any until.
No, what I expect you to have is this. I think Delmay hands Ritka her drink.
and it's.
I think that gets like a corner of the mouth to raise. Like nice transition, and then she takes it. Thank you.
Listen, Delmay is on the party train. Stop derailing it with a serious discussion. It's not why we're here. And then Delmay looks at Russ. Hey, Russ. Are you having fun?
Well, I just feel like maybe the people from Kern don't understand some of the subtleties of all this, and I just wanted them to feel better.
Yeah, I think they hear what you're saying, but I think now they need to see it in practice. So I think you've done all you can, and it's time for you to have fun too.
I think that's the point when Lysaea would walk up to the table, because she can just, it's like, she's a classic bar owner. She knows when to make an entrance.
She's like, oh, that mood got weird for a second. Oh, it's lightening up. Okay, time to make an entrance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then it's
everybody's having drinks again. And
yeah. And she will walk in, and so it's this kind of semicircular banquet, right? Table.
Mm-hmm.
I just need to know who's where.
Wonderful. I'm so glad. I imagined we were sitting at like a circle table, like a little circle booth.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was picturing too.
Yeah. Who's where? I need to know.
I think Ritka would be between Delmay and Dimitri, because Dimitri needs someone on each side, and then Fedor. So it'd be like Delmay, Ritka, Fedor, or Dimitri, Fedor, and then Russ next to Delmay, like on that side there.
Okay,
probably
so
on the bank.
That's what I was thinking, on the perch.
It's like right, like above and next
us.
to Delmay. And
Yeah.
then
So
Russ,
technically between
yeah. Delmay, Ritka's in the center, Dimitri, Fedor. Okay.
Yeah.
So Lysaea will saunter fully
Wonderful.
up. And this is a tall, statuesque woman. She is maybe just about 6 feet, without the heels, and then, the boots are, come all the way up to the knee, tight, black. Enough of a heel to be practical, but not impractical, because she is standing in them all day. I mean, trust me, I understand that you can stand in higher heels all day, but there are other ways that those work. And she will just she's got a round of drinks, and she'll set them down and then slide in next to Fedor and reach an arm around him. So, Delmay, you bring me guests.
Yes. Wonderful guests.
I can
have
see that. And she kind of looks very evaluating at the three Vata Shah Kurnish who have shown up.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all Vadasha. It's half a table Vadasha. Over half.
Well, there's no humans here.
No, we're all Vada and a Raiden.
Well, Vada and a Raiden, yeah.
So you're Raiden, Vata on, Vadasha.
This is Russ. He's this is Ritka, Dimitri,
Hello?
Fedor. Russ and Ritka are members. Let's just go. They're members of the Finest with me, and Fedor and Dimitri are Ritka's friends who are in the middle of a move. And of course, we just got back to Aldis, and I had to bring them here.
Well, it's always a pleasure when meeting your friends. And then she'll look to Ritka and say, so your friends, are you? And she's glancing between Ritka and Delmay at this point.
You could say that.
We're friends.
And then I think Ritka has, seeing the saunter, has looked around the establishment and goes, before, like, right as she
Yeah.
enters
Go
the
ahead
table.
and roll-
Ritka's figured it out now. She's looked around and gone, I
Yeah.
know where we're at.
Since you're looking around to make that connection, go ahead and roll me perception. Perception C.
I would love to use my eyeballs. 12.
12 is very acceptable. Yes, there are quite a few groups of various combinations of numbers, genders, and races, species at various points around this room. And then you just kind of get the subtle hints of draped silks that are kind of around the sides of each of these like little circular booths. So like it's a bar, but it's also a brothel, and it's not a high-end location, but it's not a low-end location.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what it is. It's a local.
Yeah. And then Delmay will turn to Ritka and say, before I joined the Finest, I learned a lot from Lysaea.
Really?
Yes.
She'll just wink at Ritka for that one.
I was just a sheltered young girl.
You.
Yeah, out, and then I had to go out there and get some experiences. And
Well, I suppose I should thank you then. As she looks at Lysaea.
You're welcome.
yeah, Lysaea taught me a lot about how to be good with my hands.
You are quite good with your hands.
And
But,
Lysaea hasn't moved her arm from around Fedor's shoulder, by the way.
How is Fedor? How is Fedor looking?
It's better looking.
Because I believe he had his arm around Dimitri, so it's just like an arm train going around.
He's kind of a little bit straightened up and pulling out that full, not the oh my god, this is awkward, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to pull on my diplomatic noble at a fancy dress ball in Kern face.
Yeah. Bless him.
Yeah,
Not the place for that face, buddy.
And how is Dimitri looking?
Dimitri is making eye contact with Lysaea, and then back to Delmay, and then going, really? This is interesting information. So, and there's just this moment of like, what? And then he says, what? And you can just, Ritka, you're the only one who's close enough that you just saw like Fedor's hand just kind of like pinch the back of his neck. It's like, no, just stop. It's like he knew what he was going to say, and it's like, just don't.
Just don't.
So you,
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I give Fedor a look like it's fine. You don't need that.
So my question then becomes, Delmay, that you brought me such fine guests. Are they our kinds of friends?
No. Russ and another friend of mine who is back at the villa, I did take them to meet a friend, but we should chat about that. Things are not all on the up. Well, not the up, but that's not the right word. Strange things are afoot, and our friend is concerned.
Really? And at that, she'll like move her arm from around Fedor and just kind of lean forward, like her hands in front of her, and just kind of lean. So what is making our friend concerned? Because I have had some concerns recently.
Missing information.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I did not think that was possible.
I don't think they did either. Hence the concern. Missing information and no recollection of what the information was. Just the lack of its presence.
Shouldn't be possible.
Yeah, I think we're going to need to look into it.
Definitely. But if they're not our kinds of friends, are they trustworthy?
Well, as far as
No,
I've
no,
more-
and she's looking directly at Russ
at Russ. Oh, right.
because
But I assume that she's not in the psychic call, so Russ cannot speak back.
That's true.
Russ is like sort of listening.
Yeah. If Delmay sees her looking at Russ, she'll say, yes.
What does she mean, trustworthy?
Our friend, truth be told, our friend and my friend did have a little bit of they have different opinions on things, but I think there is lack of trustworthiness is not the issue.
oh, I was assuming that if you took them to meet our friend, that was not the concern. I meant about other things, and she kind of she intentionally glances at the bar at that because you brought and introduced a Raiden who works as a senior envoy, as a member of the finest,
Yeah.
to her bar.
Oh,
She's
Oh.
talking about her other businesses.
yes. I checked in advance, and
No, not the brothel. The other
Oh,
business.
the other businesses. Oh. I think Delmay gives let's just not talk about it.
Then we...
I'm very upstanding and honorable. I don't know what she's talking about. I'm quite trustworthy.
Yes, Russ is, and Russ absolutely respects consensual choices made by adults. And that's but that's where we leave it.
Russ also reports absolutely everything to command. Yeah.
My calling is the transmission of knowledge. That is what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Lysaea runs a bar and brothel and is a friend of the library, but that's not all she is.
No, of course, but that's probably we're here for an evening.
Yes,
Russ
but she was going
probably
to say
will not.
something, but you brought Russ.
Yeah, that's fair.
So she's not going to say that now.
But Delmay will also say, we should maybe at some point we should talk, just you and I.
Indeed. Your charming friends, if they wish, I'm going to have some better drinks brought over. This is...
Don't remember the name.
Can
She's
I
not gonna throw anyone under the bus.
Yeah.
can I borrow
Funny.
can I borrow your dear friend, your dear Dalmay?
Mm,
Certainly.
mm.
We'll be right back.
Could tell her I
Enjoy.
said that.
And Delmay will climb to the booth, climb over Ritka.
Well, no, you're at the
you're
end.
on the
Oh, I'm
outside.
at the end, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
just
because
Russ. Okay,
Russ
never
is
mind.
seated on the.
And you don't have to scoot past Russ because Russ is above. So
Yeah. So she'll just unfold herself.
Yeah, and then Lysaea will move herself and just negligently brush the back of Fedor's neck as she gets up, just because she can.
Yeah.
yep.
And she will link arms with you to saunter away back behind to her office. But I think that's where we're going to take the break for the evening.
Da, 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 da.
As people begin indulging in various things, and we might find out what Lysaea doesn't want to say in front of the narc.
I don't know why. I mean, what? just because I tell people things, I don't really know what I mean, what?
Look, not everyone
I'm
wants
very
to be told
upstanding.
to other people.
Mm-hmm. So
Very
we'll be back.
upstanding.
We'll be back in a few minutes.
Probably
everybody.
just friend stuff, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
friend stuff.
Personal friend
Personal-
stuff.
Personal friend stuff. Personal.
Yeah.
Probably.
Um.
That's what Rika was if asked. It's probably just want to talk about personal friend stuff, you know?
And go ahead, stretch, recover, get your new beverage, all of these good things, and we'll be back in a few, everybody. Bye-bye. hello everyone, and we are back. And when we left off, Lysaea was leading Delme away from the party. Literal and figurative. And towards the back room behind the bar in her office. And then after she closed the door into her office, you saw her activate some of the wards that you know that she's got in this building to ensure that she isn't overheard. And she'll lead you over to, you know, the office has like this big, you know, corner desk that she uses, and it's very organized, it's very regimented.
Yeah.
Probably learned from her previous years as a pirate. And, you know, ships have a much more limited space.
Yep.
But but she leads you over to these two overstuffed chairs with a small table that is next to what looks like a window until she like pushes the curtain aside and you realize it's just a one-way window that looks out over the bar. So she can keep an eye on what's going on in her bar.
Love it.
I've been hearing some interesting rumors lately.
About the
Those who
library, the
were-
city.
Some people in the city who were dead, who are maybe not so dead anymore.
Interesting. Well, that actually really helps because my friends and I definitely came across ghosts on the way to town.
Well, ghosts
And,
seem to be... Those are unliving. Perhaps who are very dead, who are... think more living circles? Sort of. In a corporeal sense.
Vampires?
I've heard of a couple of those and a couple others.
Oh, okay. Did not realize they were in the city. We've
I've not
had our run-ins with them out there.
Oh! I'm hearing that you're having a much more exciting time than previously expected.
Yeah. It's mates for really good stories. For our friend, but that's alarming.
I have not been able to confirm, and none of the usual suspects, shall we say, have been available to question.
Yeah, well, the finest hasn't brought it up, but they're a little, I suppose they're a little preoccupied with what to do with our cadre out there. But,
Also, let's be honest, the finest don't really the city. That's not their purpose.
no, it's interesting because, but if there's infiltration of these types of formerly dead but now not, then
The biggest concern...
someone in the city must care.
Hopefully. Well, I don't usually... certain... Well... Depends what time of year.
I can ask, but ooh. Out of character, I just realized my knuckles bleeding. What did I punch?
Your phone?
Sorry.
I mean, I've done that. Like, the side of the table, I've done that.
I don't know. I just noticed that my knuckles bleed. Anyway, it's not bad. I can ask, but I don't know if there's my sources don't exactly think of me as an equal in whom to confide. My source is my mom. You know, it's my mom.
I was about to say, what did you just say? She was her mother.
I don't know. I'm trying to sound more grown up.
Look, trying to be clandestine and creepy, we've had this conversation.
I know. I gotta practice my skills.
I mean, I have a couple people if you really want.
If only I had the time.
Hmm.
But no, I think it's better. I learned my own style of how to be intriguing.
Apparently you're doing that very well. Free Kurnish Vata Shah.
Not three. The two men do their own thing.
Really?
Yeah. It's quite cute.
And you just see this, like, look come across her face, like... But, I've also heard a couple... You know me. I've said... things that I cannot confirm, but... Rumor has it that there have been... late-night visitors? Valiant State.
To the
Yes.
what estate?
The Valiant State.
The Valid estate.
I mean, you... As far as I was aware, Celia Valiant was with you.
Yep. She was. She did recently go back because of some, I don't know. She wasn't there when I got back home today after seeing our
No,
friend.
I mean, like, over the...
Oh. I didn't think there was anyone there. Huh. Okay. I'll ask her. Well, I should call her after we talk, make sure she's okay, because that's where she went today, as far as I know.
Perhaps you need to make a house call.
Yep. Okay. Well, I will get that on that, but I did want to tell you about the library sounded incredibly concerned about
I would be incredibly concerned if things going missing from standing.
yes.
Whatever you want.
Things have been pulled out but also the library's knowledge of what's been taken is gone as well. And it's not just someone didn't return books. Someone took it out and left a black hole in its place.
Which means that they have knowledge of what the library is,
Mm-hmm.
and that have the power to...
It's concerning. I didn't even think. From what I understand, knowledge of what the library is isn't exactly commonplace.
If it was originally one of the most best-kept secrets in this city. You don't know until you show up, and you have to be fully vetted before you're invited.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm feeling really uncomfortable staying here while knowing that there might be something wrong with Cecilia.
You should check on her
Yeah.
yourself. So I feel more secure.
Yeah.
I have a growing list sent to you. Where are you staying?
At my parents' estate out of town, we have a lot of large animals with us, and also I think it's best
So
to...
the rumor I heard about a wyvern...
Yes. Cuter than we've been told when they're not corrupted.
I'll have to add that to my list of things to look into.
Yeah, it's lot. I did go up on it. Well, he's adorable. It was a lot of fun. Highly recommend, especially if you can catch a sunset or sunrise.
Oh, so you're flying... Wait, you brought Knights of the Skull? Not just Kern, but Knights of the Skull? Yeah, I'm so pleased at your adventures, son.
Former. But we don't hold people's pasts against them once they've shown a...
Oh no, I have no comment about that. I was merely
Yeah.
very impressed with your adventurous side.
Oh yes,
You
yes.
know me. I'm not the last person to judge somebody's history.
Well, that's why I thought this would be a good place for them to come out, because they're bound to get unfriendly looks elsewhere.
Well,
And,
if they're your friends,
depends on what kind of friends we're talking about.
you're talking friends with benefits or an actual relationship, dear.
Yes to the former, haven't had the discussion about the latter.
Interesting. Actual emotions and
Early days. I think right now it's just fun for what it is, and have the conversation when it comes up. It's all about getting experiences with wonderful people, right?
always.
That's why you're so good at what you do.
True. Very true. Speaking of, there's other things that I've been hearing. The Valent estate is most pressing, and you should definitely check on that. I've been aware of... Oh, remember how I said the dead are not so dead?
Yeah.
C is not keeping her dead anymore.
Okay, that also might track with an experience we had on the road. Yep.
A number of ships have finally made it to port, or at least that's the rumor.
Ships that were thought lost at sea. Do you know how long they were considered lost? Are we talking decades or?
I have to confirm, but I know at least one was over 30 years.
Okay, so we're past the realm of this could have actually just happened.
No, there were two that were questionable. They were the early days, a couple months late.
Yeah.
One that was coming from the matriarchy. It's not really a surprise if it ends up a little bit late. Storms. But one was sailing from Jazran and was supposed to have been waylaid by the pirates in the bay. Made port. I have a trip myself planned, but you understand. A place like this, I have to make sure everything's under control before I can leave.
Yes. Yeah, okay. That all of this tracks with what we've seen. We didn't. Okay, this is a lot to take in. I think I'm gonna focus on Cecilia for tonight.
I've also heard rumors that certain figures in authority in the court are not asking questions.
About everything that's going on. Well, I will be asking questions to Mom. I will ask my mom questions. But I also, she's a questioner herself. That's where I get it from. So I'm gonna.
That's why you're my second favorite noble.
It's very weird to be called that after having slept on dirt for as long as I have, you know.
Another reason why you're my second favorite noble.
Who's your favorite, and what do I need to do to take their place?
She will just smile at you and not answer.
Okay. Now I had to try.
I mean, if you really want, you could try communication persuasion.
I think Delmay's a little too distracted by her concern for Cecilia for this to be a now thing, but she hasn't. This is the Delmay will remember this. Kind of comes up across the top right of the screen. Okay. All right. Well, I think with that, Delmay would say, "All right. Well, let's save that conversation for another time. I think I'm gonna grab them and go check on Cecilia, but if you hear anything else about what we've heard, you know where to reach me, and we'll start asking questions too. Gosh, and here I thought all the fun things were out there in the wild, but okay. So yeah, Delme will head back to the table.
So this conversation has been about 5, maybe 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Ritzka, another round of drinks has shown up. Fedor and Dimitri are kind of almost relaxing into each other and are engaging in like small talk that you would have in a bar, and it's like whatever. How many drinks have you had?
Well, I had a round of shots.
Mhm.
And then she had her drink, and then Delmy gave her another drink. So this would be drink 4 that just came.
So I need a constitution drinking or just a from you.
You mean drinking?
Yes, I do. Oh, but it didn't. So it's 16 because it didn't put your focus in
16. Oh, it didn't put the thing in there? Okay. Oh, I'll work on that.
there. So
But yeah, have a drinking. I took it.
You are. This is not weak alcohol, but at the same time, it's taste just right. Like the wait staff knows, so that you can
Nice.
experience the feeling of alcohol without being drunk, or it's like just the
Yeah.
beginning of buzzed,
Mm-hmm.
but not mellow and not drunk, and you realize, oh no, this is a bar that will control the level of drinking given the amount of sexual favors that are on sale here. You don't want it to get too rowdy
Yeah.
by excessive alcohol.
Yep. She's enjoying herself. She's glad that Fedor and Dimitri seem to be relaxing a bit. How does our Rhyhawk chaperone? Because that's what she assumes Russ is here for, is to chaperone.
Somebody has brought Russ a small platter of fresh meat.
Fermented berries, which he's not going to eat because he doesn't like to get intoxicated.
No, fresh meat. They brought you
Fresh meat. Oh, yeah, he's already. Oh. No, thank you.
There's your choice. But this is about the point when Delme would return to you.
Olay isn't the most stable place.
By herself or with her friend?
By herself.
Okay.
Hmm.
Oh. Your talk go well?
I think Delme will immediately slide into where she was, but she's sitting upright and facing everybody. Well, except Rusty's over her shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Has anyone spoken to Cecilia since she left?
No.
This morning, no.
I think
Carnage took all day, really. So
Russ, can you try calling her while like right now?
Of course. Why?
I think I'm worried that she's in trouble. And I'll tell you why. Just try calling her while I explain what I heard. And then Delme will share that for the last 2 months, figures have been seen going in and out of the Valiant house, which of course should have been empty, and she's worried that Cecilia might have walked in on something or someone might have walked in on her. But she just wants to make sure she's okay.
Understandable. Can't be too cautious right now.
And well, the way Lysaea said it, I don't think these are just innocent nobody as far as the rumors of these figures going in and out of the house go.
15, which should be more than enough to contact Cecilia if she is conscious.
There's no response.
Is there no response and like a...
It's not like the call fails. It's not that the call fails for magical reasons. It's either she's unconscious or dead or asleep. One of those three things. I mean, it is a little later in the evening,
It is a little later in the evening.
but you do know that Cecilia doesn't really sleep.
You'd be reading, if anything.
Yes, exactly.
Probably.
I'm gonna try one more time before I.
We
Pop
need to
over.
go. We need to go.
What? But I haven't told you yet.
Oh, okay. I thought you did. I
Just
thought you were
have
trying to
to-
call all of us. Sorry, I thought you were starting a new party line.
No, I was just trying to because you were all talking, so he didn't want to like bump in,
Oh, fair.
right? So he's gonna try one more time.
I think Ridka would be like, so you're saying we should down these before we, if we have to go.
I think Delbay will take her half-finished drink and chug it.
And then he will try to get everybody. Because presumably he does not reach Cecilia that
Nope,
time.
that second 19? No. Still no answer.
And like I can use my stunt points to make that like a 23. You know what I mean? For that second one. So it was like a 23. Still no answer. And he goes, she's not her mind is not responding.
This one is a party line, right?
It could
And
be
does
asleep,
it
but that
include
is
Richard?
all right.
Yeah, because he got like a 15, 23, so he could bring in a whole lot of people. He would bring in like
Okay.
Vashard. Right.
Mm-hmm.
He would not have included Dimitri and Fedor though. He would have
Okay.
just done the Sovereign's finest group.
Okay. Okay. She could just be sleeping.
Mm.
Vashard did Cecilia come back to the villa and go to sleep?
No. She's, as far as I know, still at her house.
Okay. We're heading there. Things may be wrong. So we're gonna head that way. And I think Delmay will, I guess, rush over to the bar to close their tab. And they can head out. Unless anyone else
That
has anything
drink
else
that
to
just came to be like, all right, what? Because you don't want to waste alcohol.
There's that like walking towards the door and finishing it, and then like dropping your glass at the corner of the bar on the way out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The bartender, who is not Lysaea at this moment, it's a taller night person, male with like only one fang, and you can see where the other fang is broken off, and it's like, okay. Also, has got like that ragged scar across the same side of his face. It's like there's a story there, but he just nods at you and is like, "Don't worry, you don't pay here." And
And Russ would go to pay for the
my
meat.
will tip. Sorry, what did you say?
Russ would fly over to pay for the meat. He would
and the night person just shakes his head. You don't pay here.
Like I said, Delmay leaves enough of a tip as though they did buy everything. And thank him and then leave.
So,
once out of the building, Russ will fly quickly because he's the scout. He'll fly out and up to where Cecilia's place is to sort of give a peek to report back.
So the Valent estate is in the High Ward, but not far from where you were in Everlamp, in the Lake Ward. It's actually here in Highmark, up here.
Okay.
I'm not seeing a ping.
It's the lower half of the map.
H9.
If you slide down, there are two maps.
Oh.
Oh, there are two maps. Okay. Here we
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
one is just the general ward markers. The other one is marked by neighborhoods.
go.
We learned that last week because you kept referring to numbers, and I'm like, "There's something here I'm not seeing."
Sorry, I should have said better.
Hey, we haven't had a city until now, so
Yeah, that's true. We have not.
So yes, in Highmark, in the eastern edge of Highmark, but still in Highmark.
that's good. What is transportation in Aldis?
Okay, so because it's a bunch of cities, but they're mostly narrow roads, you do have a bunch of rickshaws.
Yes. We's about to pile into one.
There are horses if you wanted to go to one of the stables and rent them, but that's a little further out of town, and most people would prefer to not use their
If
own.
we're just going from one neighborhood to another,
Yeah, and
there's 4 of us, so
It's 4 of us. You're about to pile into a rickshaw, and I need to check because I left the
roll for rickshaw. Woohoo!
No. Oh, poo. Took off the thing. Hold, please. I need to check on the other thing. Yeah, because it's only like... It's just beyond walking distance.
Mm-hmm. And they're in a rush, so...
Yeah, it's a couple miles. It's not.
Oh, so we
Yeah.
can just jog there.
I know, but... Or I can pay this guy money and ask him to take us as fast as he can.
It's not gonna be one guy in a rickshaw pulling us faster than we can jog.
Is it a guy or is it horses? Like I guess what
Rickshaws
kind of
usually
rickshaw?
people.
It's a pedal.
I'm only used to electronic rickshaws.
Yeah, like a tuk-tuk. Those are fun.
Is it a guy on a bike?
Yeah, it's a guy on a bike. It's a pedal. It's a pedal.
It's a pedicab.
It's a pedicab.
Yeah. A pedicab can go faster than a cab.
Yeah, a pedicab can go faster than a rickshaw.
Yeah, it's a pedicab. I used the wrong term. Pedicab.
Yeah.
I was like, we're not gonna be faster than a rickshaw. With a
yeah,
bunch of
one
people
guy
in it.
running or all of us running, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I figure like there's, like these words are big enough to
We
where
probably do 2 pedicabs.
people don't want to walk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do 2 pedicabs then.
Okay. So you can make your way there relatively quickly. Russ will get there first.
Of course.
Just to give a peek, right? To see, like, what do we see?
Can you
Are there
roll
lights
me
on,
that
et cetera?
perception seeing?
Like, and he will not enter because he's just scouting. Focus. Here we go.
Oh, I forgot we're 4 people and a whisper.
16.
There are lights in the upper floor. There doesn't seem to be anything downstairs.
Question.
The door does. Most of the doors and windows look closed.
Is Cecilia, does she count? She's in the high district, which means her family has money,
Yes, she's technically a noble. Well,
right? So,
her brother was.
and since Cecilia's my best friend, would I know if her estate has servants normally? Like that would be a thing.
Yes, you would know that she does have
Yeah.
servants.
So people coming in and out could have been servants, right? So that's not necessarily like you. Even if she's gone for a long time, you'd have groundskeepers and people sort of upkeep the home.
Mm-hmm.
So there being people around would not be completely weird.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when Delby was saying it, she said
That's
based
why
on
she
the way
said
Lysaea said it, it
yeah,
wasn't
it doesn't sound like
people, it was
normal
people. Yeah. Like it was out of the ordinary enough to reach the ears of Lysaea, right? Like
people don't talk about servants going in and out.
exactly. The rumor mill is not going to pick up on servants
Yeah.
going in and out.
No.
Mhm.
How many lights is like the whole second floor up or
No. 3 rooms in the back of the house.
does he know if these are her rooms or not? You know what I mean? Like in terms of,
Have
So
you
imagine
visited her at home before?
I imagine they're best friends. Like she's his best friend.
No, they're not her rooms. One of them is
Okay.
the study,
Mm-hmm.
like the smaller upper floor library that you know that she's been in, you found her in before, but none of the other lights on are in her.
Okay. Oh, 3 lights are on, but study and a couple others at the second floor, not anywhere else. And I think I'll just sort of fly around. 'Cause I imagine they would have like a, like, is there like not going in the house at all, but just sort of giving evidence for like horses stabled or carriages, any kind of sort of note of visitors, that sort of a thing. Sort of,
And the life.
yeah, just kind of like, does it look like there are people here officially, as it were?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean officially? I needed clarification on that statement.
Well, if I were an official guest, I would have perhaps come in with transportation that I have had stabled there or like parked there. If I had snuck in there, then I maybe not would have, right? So like, is there a carriage, or are there sort of evidences of transportation that are parked outside the house or in their stables, or?
Well, they don't have
there.
stables, but they're also in the high ward, so.
Yep.
But again, it's enough of a walking city that you can't necessarily say that.
Just wondering if there were any, right? Like
there
if
is
there
not.
were...
Nothing that
Okay.
you see like that, no.
And so he will continue circling until the rest of the group gets here.
Yeah. And Reiko to split people up because our boys aren't in the group call, so that she would be in a pedal bike carriage thing with like Fedor, and then put Dimitri with Delme.
Yeah.
So that way we could convey to them what's going on.
Okay.
Lovely.
So you can.
That way, if something happens,
If
they're
something
not out
happens.
left in the dark behind us. Yeah. We can be like,
So who do
something's
you
happened. and not
who do
have
you
to do
have?
this.
You have Dimitri or Fedor?
I think Rick has been with Dimitri a lot, so I think she's with Fedor right now.
Okay. Fedor would turn to you and go, we don't have any weapons.
I know. But when has that stopped us before?
Absolutely never, but I thought I would point out the fact that I don't have any. Usually this is the point at which you would come up with a
I don't think
cunning
Rika
plan.
would have taken her weapons into the city either. So she's like, I don't have my weapons. You don't have your weapons. But if they have weapons, we can just take theirs and then hit them with our own weapons.
Those are usually the best, but I was pointing this out so that you could come up with a cunning plan. This is my job.
I will keep it in mind. Thank you, Fedor.
Look, sorry, I fell back into bad habits.
No, you're fine. I missed you too.
We definitely missed you as well, and not just for other reasons.
Oh, no. Although those were missed as well. And then she just a little smile, and then
So I have to, and then he'll kind of like glance because it's, I'm assuming at this point you're speaking Kurnish, and because you,
oh yeah, we're totally talking in Kurnish.
he goes, so how was your little fun time?
It was great. It was a very good time. I have not had once in 5 years is not enough. And it felt good to make up lost time, so to speak, in a manner of speaking. Sounds like you and Dimitri were making up for lost time as well.
A lot of lost time. Kind of glad.
Well,
But
good.
it does lead me to a very important question. Look, I have to ask. You know this. I'm your friend.
I have no idea what you're talking about. What is it you want to ask?
Are you really sure about these ones? Beyond
Well, they
just
don't
a
hate
good-
me, so that's a good start.
This is true. They don't hate you, but do you want them to not to like you? Because I'll try and control Dimitri if that's what you want.
I think a couple of them like Dimitri the way he is. I think they're very amused.
I did say I would try, not that I would succeed.
I like them, but let's just see how things go before we try to restrain anyone from anything. Or try to seek things out.
You will let me know when emotions become something that I actually have to interfere with?
Of course I would.
Your father isn't here. I would feel that it would be my place if I get to threaten people. I only get to threaten... And he kind of looks at you and is like, look, I have small... I'm probably not going to get to threaten a lot of people. I have a talent for it.
You are very good at the threatening of people. I just find it kind of weird that you want to threaten people in my father's place, seeing that he was trying to set us up for a very long time. Still probably wants to set us up.
Why we're here and he's not. Also, let's be honest, that would have been the best of a bad situation.
It would have been. I mean, it would have been terrible. I could think of far worse. I mean,
And you put up with Dimitri, so
I like Dimitri.
and like that's the first time he has ever said in your presence an emotional response, acknowledged an emotion tied to Dimitri. Beyond just
does a little like, because they're sitting next to each other, a little like buddy side hug. Like, hey, that's the spirit. We might all die tomorrow, but or even later tonight. But there you go. She just does the little like squeeze. And then
so
carry on.
time to go take on your friend and the possible creepy things in her house.
Great.
And
I mean, what's the worst that could happen? We could get arrested for trespassing, breaking, and entering.
I'm sure we can find a way to avoid getting arrested for breaking and entering.
Which is why we will let Delmay do the talking if anything happens.
Definitely. And that's about the point when your pedicab will pull up in front of the estate. And this is like a city estate building, so it's a picture in Italian a Roman city villa, not a country villa, but a city villa. So it's a long, thin, thinner than it is wide, or longer than it is wide building, but it has 3 floors, and there's a central courtyard in the middle. There's an entryway and a number of spaces around this courtyard. Very similar to the house that Delmay grew up in Aldis.
Mm-hmm. Probably with fewer plants.
Yes, the plants that you see walking up the steps, you know, there are a couple planters, one on each odd step. They're very tastefully arranged for aesthetics and status, and not for whatever your dad was crossbreeding.
Yep. That tracks.
And there's a big iron-banded wooden door that's closed at the moment.
Well, as soon as their pedicab comes to kind of even a remotely a stop, Whispers up and out, and snurfing.
Roll for
Snurfing all the way up to the door.
Roll for smelling.
11. Not the best.
Whisper will let you know that she smells Cecilia and has been here before, and that a number of people have been in and out, and that's really clean.
Okay. Dummy's gonna go up and, what is it, a knocker?
Yeah, there's a big, like, one of those come around handle knockers, in the shape of a, rose, but with a, like, filigree around it.
Okay. They're still in the psychic contact, right?
Until you tell me you break it.
Oh, yeah. Russ, I might have to stretch the truth to get in there.
What do you mean?
If they ask why we're here in the middle of the night, I'm gonna tell them it's because of finest business, and we need to talk to Cecilia urgently.
But that's not a lie.
Fair. Knocking on the door. She doesn't argue whether it's a lie or not. Russ isn't splitting hairs. Delmay sure isn't.
You knock loudly, and the sound kind of reverberates through this space. You hear the knock go through. It's a few moments, and then the door kind of... the top half of the door, there's a little, like, peek through that opens, and you see a very older-looking human woman. Her hair in a very tight bun, more white than anything else. her eyes are a little straining, and she's got a single candle in her hand, and she goes, "Yes? May we help you?"
Delme has shifted in position to, and I think for Fedor and Dimitri at least, this is probably the most like a member of the finest you've ever seen Delme stand. Like, it's very proper function. And she'll say, I guess before I say what she says, what is Cecilia just also envoy?
No, she's a Metacarius.
Which is the same level of, so like
She's-
the recruiter, senior envoy, and Metacarius are about the same level of
They all hold the same rank. They're senior ranked officers, but a Metacarius is not in your chain of command. Well,
Okay,
it's the classic. You give higher rank to a medical officer, so if they need to declare a medical emergency, they can, but they're
Makes
not
sense.
actually in the chain of command.
Yes. So when to the old lady, Delme would say, "Good evening. We're here for Metacarius Valent. We need to speak with her immediately."
Of course, please come in. And then there's that pause of like that from a servant is like, and you are.
Yes, I am Envoy Ferox with the finest. This is Senior Envoy Russet.
Of course. And then you kind the little peak window closes and you hear the chains coming off the door and then it opens. Please, this way. Her ladyship is the lady is in her study. And she
Please make haste. This is an urgent matter.
and she will lead you around the side of the courtyard to this left-hand staircase that kind of goes up in a slight curve. Not just not a spiral staircase or anything, but it just enough to kind of give the, just to kind of twist in on itself, more to maintain space than for anything else.
Okay.
And she'll lead you
While
up to
they're... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go.
I was going to say, while they're walking, I think Delme wants to... Oh, yeah, the call isn't by me. Delme wants to sense Arcana.
I'm just gonna look at my eyeballs.
and because the call is by me, you don't have to worry about that because I'm doing the concentration on our call.
Mm-hmm. Just kind of getting an idea, because Delme definitely has not been in this home before.
Mhm.
So
So-
he
And
doesn't...
I'll be perched on Delme.
perched on Delme. Ritka's looking with her eyeballs. Delme
Yes.
is sensing Arcana. Delme, give me a roll for sense Arcana.
What is that? Is it second sight? That's what it is.
Second sight, which is, or
Yeah.
perception psychic. Either one of those could have worked. But second sight is going to give you a little bit more. So with a 16 eyeballs, Ritka,
Yeah.
as you walk through, you will notice the estate is very well maintained.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little odd because Cecilia hasn't been here in months, but there's no dust anywhere. It could be that the live-in servants are just that efficient.
Mm-hmm.
The flowers are fresh. The ones that are cut flowers in various vases that you see around are fresh. There's a small... Everything looks very well maintained. It looks very clean, ordered. It looks almost like what you would expect of Cecilia, of her kind of aesthetic in the house, but at the same time, there are definite hints that this has been her family home, and there are design choices that she didn't change when she inherited it.
Yeah. Question: while we're walking, we're following a servant, right?
Mm-hmm.
So no
Do
one's
I know
walking
this
behind
servant?
us.
Have I seen her before?
You have seen her before, but I don't think you've
Okay.
ever been introduced to her.
Well, I would have announced myself as Raiden just because it's considered impolite if you don't. But that's
You're
like a
currently
general
maintaining
thing.
a contact
You have to-
between Delme and
No.
Ritka.
Yeah.
The first time I met her, I would have announced
yeah,
myself
the first
as
time.
In the past.
Yeah, in the past.
Okay.
just because it's considered impolite for Raiden not to announce themselves as psychic birds.
Oh.
Unless you
psychic-
just saw her walking in the background of the hallway or something.
Yeah, you've seen
Yeah.
her. You've never
Yeah.
been introduced to her.
So, yeah.
Okay.
May not have even been in this. You just saw her passing,
Yeah.
like not. Yeah.
So I don't
Is
know
there
if she often
anything?
opens the door.
Because Fedor and Dimitri made a very good point. We don't have any weapons. Should anything be amiss? Are there any candlesticks or tchotchkes that look hefty that could take a punch without breaking, maybe, on the
There
way
are-
that she could just grab and then pass and, just pass
They're just like
along.
grabbing heavy items as they walk, holding them behind us.
Yeah, just
I
like,
love it.
like nothing huge, but something like, like they could like put in
So
their
you don't want the
pockets.
floor. You don't want this the standing floor cast iron candelabra.
No, not the big one. Just
Yeah,
like
I mean, like as you walk by, there's this moment
because
where
I'm sure
Dimitri's
there
like,
might be something large.
Pick
in
up a
there. She-
ginger jar
I
off
think
the
she
mantle.
just smacks his hand like no, and then hands him like a candlestick. You
There,
know,
there are a couple.
like
You can see that there are a couple that are
Because I imagine she has a lot of candles because she likes to stay up late and read.
yes, and it's a lot of various light candles here. You can find on one of the alcoves as you're walking towards the stairs. There's this arrangement of 4 that are actually marble.
That works. And I think she just grabs and passes, grabs and passes, grabs, and then 'cause it's small enough that we can stick. Just
I mean,
in
they're
our
like
tunics or our
they're
pockets.
let's say they're 2.5 feet. They're good size.
Yeah, but we
And they're
went out,
like a
so we got like
nice-
jackets and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
like tuck in, so we look real nonchalant, arms crossed.
yeah, and
nonchalant.
they're
But we
they're-
can bring out some marble whoop ass if we need to. I think that's all she does. Is to just
please clip that because I need the phrase marble whoop ass in my life. That will be a tag that will get added to this.
that's all. Because he made a good point, and he said, "I need you to you're the mastermind of some plan." She's like, "All right, fine, here you go." She looks at him.
There's a plan.
Look,
There you are.
Dimitri is the one that if you want to have an actual infiltration, that would do the planning.
Yes,
He
but
doesn't plan.
it was
but you're the
Fedor
one,
and I.
Fedor and you, who plan the combat, and he's
Mhm.
deferring to you because you know the people involved better.
Yeah.
If you
and I
want
know
to plan a pitch,
Dimitri typically uses a pole arm, so he gets one. Fedor uses a sword and shield, right?
yeah,
So he'll get the 2, and then she'll have 1.
Okay.
That way he can block with 1 and then bash with the
Yes.
other. Yeah. That's all. That's all. Just looking for weapons. And if nothing happens, we can just put them back on the way out.
so
No,
that
no.
Delmay, I need to double check second sight for a moment
Sure.
because I need to know what the
What it does.
what
I only have the Cliff's Notes, which is some kind of psychic contact.
yeah.
Sense?
But you're using
Sense
second sight as sense arcana, correct?
Yes. Well, then there's last one's like read arcane signature, but she's trying to figure out if there's magic.
Yeah,
Abouts.
you wanna I just need to read the contact. Second sight. Okay, sense arcana. Okay. You don't sense anything at the moment.
Okay.
No arcana use as far as you're aware.
Okay.
So you're moving your way up these stairs. You work through, follow up the second floor along the west side of the house. You can see the light flickering underneath or from the quasi-cracked door that you believe will be the study that you're being led to. Roll second sight again.
Okay. Ugh. I'm gonna go ahead and use one of my convictions.
I'm also going to tell you that chat has given y'all 3.
Oh, well, I'm gonna use one of chat's convictions then, if y'all are okay with that. That's a lot better.
That is a lot better. Significantly better. Actually
Trip
works.
6s.
Yeah.
6 stun points. So you can crank that up.
To a 27.
Okay.
Or no, a
here's-
20. You can only use 3. So it'd
You
be-
can I think you can use all of your stunt points, right? As
No,
in
because
a
it can't
one-for-one
go
basis.
above. You can only use 3 of the stunt points. Because there's a limit to how far you can bump it.
Yes, increase
Thought
the
it was a
outcome of
3,
your
yeah.
arcanum by 1 per stunt point spent to a maximum of 4.
So a maximum of 4.
4.
Sorry. But yeah,
Yeah.
but I was like, I knew there was a max.
It's gonna be 25.
So it'll be
And you have 2
25.
left over.
So you have 25, and it's 2 left over. Do you want to do anything with those before I tell you what happens, or do you just?
Actually, what I've decided I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just use pump 3 into powerful channeling,
Mhm.
and like to use the other 3 to arcane shield.
So you bring
Yes.
you channel this spell to sense around you any of the arcane, and you bring an arcane shield up around yourself.
I think it looks to be that it's just for me
Mhm.
because it gives me +2 to defense
Yeah, it only works on
for
you.
a turn. Yeah.
Mhm.
So.
And you, as the door, as the servant approaches this door and kind of pushes it open, you immediately realize that there was almost something blocking this sense of magic. And as the door opens, you can feel it, that there is a magical working occurring at the moment inside this study. And you almost have the taste of rotten eggs in the back of your throat.
I think Delme will immediately, in the psychic call, say dark magic and rush.
Is that
He
the
doesn't know
psychic
how not to
call?
go into the room
Ritka-
first. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Rika will. If you said that psychically, she will signal. Because imagine they have
Yeah.
a signal for that being Knights of the Skull. She'll just
Like,
give
this is
that
bad.
signal to the
Oh,
two.
no, like there's a signal for you guys to just say there's sorcery here. You guys.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense for Knight of the Skull.
Yeah.
Sorcery. Yeah, so she'll just flick that signal to them and then follow Delme. Like, oh, okay, yep.
And Russ will take to flight.
Inside the building and inside this room. So Delme rushes in. Delme, roll. As you rush by this servant, they kind of seem to freeze in place and don't move.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Can you roll me perception seeing?
I can give you a perception. That's all I can do. It's 11.
You see this study. There are a couple. There's a fireplace against the wall. It's kind of like a domed brick. Oh, looks almost like a domed brick oven. Small fireplace, kind of built into the wall. There's a couple chairs in front of it. There are piles of books around those chairs. And there's a desk to one side with a number of papers strewn across of it. And there doesn't seem to be anybody in here. But you know that there's a magical working going on, and you know that somebody is actively casting sorcery in here. Can't see anything.
Windows open or closed?
Windows are closed. Sorry, I had to stop and think about it.
Huh. I think Adame will say, it's still going on. I can sense it. When I go inside, do I sense if it's coming from anywhere, or is it just all around in this room?
It's in this room.
How big is this room?
Maybe 10 by 15.
Okay.
Right.
I,
Handles
I,
stick out. Look around.
I will
Uh,
like circle
source.
the ceiling, you know?
Roll perception eyeballs for anybody who wishes to.
I don't think I can.
Eyeballs.
No, you're going to.
I,
Yeah, you can.
no, I'm taking both of my actions. Every each turn, as it's flying and maintaining the psychic call, so I can't take any other actions.
Okay.
It's one of the reasons why I always have to sort of balance my action economy.
16, however, is a lot better than 11. But it also makes sense because Ritka, you're a lot more intimately aware.
Familiar with sorcery?
What the heck?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's a second roll with trip 6s. For
Yes,
Whisper.
God, Delme.
No, that's Whisper.
This is Whisper.
Okay, Pooja.
We know Whisper is very talented.
We know Whisper is very talented. MVP puppers all the time.
True. You
That's
two
why
are
we
on a
have-
roll.
That's why we have a emote for them.
Yeah.
Let's start with Ritka, and then we'll go back to Whisper.
Mm-hmm.
Ritka, you look around, and you are much more intimately aware of sorcery, and that's
Much
what
more.
one might even say, a practitioner at one point.
Yeah. 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 More, at more than one point.
Yeah,
Um,
for an extended period of time. So, Ritka, you can see that there is an illusion here. And you can see the edges of that illusion. And you know where the illusion stops and starts.
Okay.
You can't see through it at the moment. But you can kind of like... That chair behind the desk isn't right.
Okay.
And like that whole desk area, there's something wrong there. And it's
I'm
that
really
little-
tempted to just yeet something at the desk, but if it's unconscious Cecilia, I don't want to accidentally bash in her skull or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, yeeting a marble candlestick,
It's a choice.
it's a choice.
It's a choice.
I am here for all of your choices. Look, this week, in the last 2 weeks, my players have been making some great choices.
Yeah, there's been some interesting choices made over the past 2 weeks, particularly just this past Friday. I don't think my choice would be that drastic, but again, I don't want to bash Cecilia in the face with a marble candlestick. I don't have to, but I also don't want to like run up and poke something in case it's like, hey, I'm gonna eat you. So there's books in here, right? It's a study.
There's a pile.
I feel-
There's a pile of books next to the chairs in front of the fireplace.
I feel
there are
a
a bunch of
lot
books
less
on the
bad
tables.
eating a book at Cecilia if it's at possible Cecilia than a marble candlestick. So I think she'll just nonchalantly like, okay, okay, illusion, pretending like she doesn't know, and then she just is like, oh, fucking eat.
Okay, so Ritka is going to yeet a book.
Yeetus the Bucus.
I'm sure
I
that
do.
will make
And
Cecilia
I'm sure
very happy.
Cecilia. Yeah, well, if she gets hit with one of the things she loves most, I think she will hate me
At
less
the-
than marble candlestick.
At
And
the
it
very
will
least,
also
it
bruise
will
less.
rouse her into action.
Yes, at the very least, if Cecilia is in this room and she sees me eating this book, she will do something. If she is conscious and in this room, she will let us know.
Usually through scolding about how that is not
I'd rather be
how one
scolded
treats
Then,
books.
yeah.
The minute you take action like that, Fedor and Dimitri have fanned around you and are acting as like have pulled the standard response. They're Dimitri's to your left, Fedor's to your right, pulling.
I imagine she's thrown rocks at illusions and things before too. Like, we're not sure what this illusion is. We could just go try to murder it, but it could be a trap. So we eat something first. I think it's standard protocol to just eat.
Yeah,
and then
Yeah.
So
go
you're
before-
working.
eat
You're
before
working.
stab.
You're working off your standard protocol. Also,
Yeah.
You also working on the standard protocol of you're building a wall. You're building a line of defense in front of your squishy arcanist.
Yes. 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 Yeah.
Whisper with that 23 is herding Delme back and growling because Whisper can also see that this is an illusion. She cannot see through the illusion because she is not a magical animal. She cannot do magic. She can see where the illusion ends, and it ends with, and Whisper will be letting. She can't let
And
you
if
know
it's something
because she-
hostile that's not Cecilia, they'll probably be pissed off that I hit them with a book in the wherever,
Yeah.
and they might make themselves known as well. So book is a safe bet. A book yeet, and also I probably won't kill her with a book yeet.
Whisper can't talk to her, but I'm sure she can like growl or
there-
yell.
There's
like
growling,
There's
and then
growling
there's
and hurting
hackles
you, and
raised,
then-
and like the full like that bristling of the back of the upper.
And the book being
backs.
yeeted
Yes.
really suddenly. Like, oh yeah.
Roll me. Wait, do you have improvised weapon?
I don't know. I don't. Let me check. I have a huge list of things that I
Yeah,
have.
you have
I
a
don't
whole
think I
list of
took improvised weapon.
Are you throwing the book at it? Huh?
Yeah, I am. I've thrown weapons. Weapon and shield.
You-
I have all my weapons aren't on here because those are. I think that I put them under here. I have brawling heavy blades, pole arms, lances, bludgeons, and wood axes, and thrown weapons.
I
So-
would say thrown weapon could work here.
Okay. Thrown weapon, which I believe is fighting still.
Yeah,
Or
it's still
accuracy?
fighting.
Okay,
No,
still fighting.
well, it's a thrown weapon, so it'd be accuracy.
Okay. Okay, because I know my javelins are still fighting, not accuracy.
Yeah, but
which
that's
is
because you can also
interesting.
you can also use a javelin as
spear
a
stab.
spear
Yeah.
stab.
Okay. I don't have any points in accuracy, so let's see. Hey, not bad. 14, actually.
Oh,
bad for
+2
a
because
+0.
of your focus. Because
Oh,
because
because
of
I'm-
thrown weapons. Yeah,
It's not a focus though.
Yeah,
It's
but
just I'm just
but it
proficient.
basically counts in it.
Okay. So
It's like-
16.
Yeah, it's the same thing. So 16. With a 16, you see the book go flying, and you see it kind of waver through the air as you see the book go through the illusion, and you hear it hit something with a thud.
Like a made contact with flesh thud or something hard thud. I'm very familiar with fleshy thuds.
Yes, you are very familiar with fleshy thuds. This is a slightly awkward. It's not as fleshy a thud as you're used to.
Okay, so it doesn't sound like a Cecilia thud.
No.
Okay. Wonderful. Great. But it did hit.
It
This book.
did hit something.
And it wasn't non-fleshy.
And it wasn't non-fleshy.
But it wasn't super fleshy, which that's really sus. So I think, but second sight let me see through an illusion.
It can, I believe.
Presence? No, that's sense mine's not my second.
No, second sight is second sight lets you
Hex
sense
Arcana.
it. Sense arcana, sense psychic contact, or read a signature. Sense minds would tell you if there's somebody in the area.
Cecilia's the
There's
only one with sense minds.
something in the area.
There is also,
Well, we don't know, so I guess we just gotta burn this room to the ground. Can't be helped. No. Yeah, I don't have anything to dispel magics.
No.
Except for like torment, because then they'd be like incapacitated. But that's maybe
That's
not
one
the
way.
best.
That's one way to do it.
It's a sorceress way to do it. And I don't feel like tormenting. I'm not at the point where I'm willing to torment this anonymous, suspicious, fleshy thud. And she will, she will say, now that we're like obviously made a mood, illusion there, someone is there. It's not Cecilia.
And Russ, of course, is circling the room.
It was a
It's not
And
fleshy
Cecilia?
thud, but it wasn't a human-esque. Wasn't the Cecilia fleshy thud?
I need a sorry, Ritka. I need
No, that's
a-
fair. I hit them with the book.
You did hit them with a book. I need
How much damage does book do?
1,000.
1d4 because it's going to be less than an arrow.
Yeah, that's fair. I just was curious and one. You know, it probably doesn't even get through any armor that they might have. Just enough to piss them off.
Just enough to piss them
Yeah.
off, which it did.
Which means I have to roll something.
you
What would
do.
like
I
me
need
roll?
you to roll a willpower, courage, faith, or self-discipline. Your choice.
So that will be self-discipline because she does not have faith
+1.
Or
+1 for
courage.
me.
or courage. She doesn't have that either at this moment in time because she ran. She
You know,
ran so
+1.
far. Oh, 17.
Doesn't beat a 22.
No, it's a good roll, but it doesn't beat 20.
Ooh,
So what happens to me?
Hold on, I have to count.
Okay.
+7. Jeebus.
Oh, did you do anything with that accuracy with your stunt points?
4.
You don't get stunt
Yeah.
point. Oh,
Oh, for that
No, for
accuracy.
my book eat.
for your bookie.
You'd also get a +1 stunt point from me.
Oh,
Okay. Well, it still means this.
I don't deal extra damage with my
you
book heat. I just
You
heat it.
you did 5. You get 5 points of psychic damage directly through armor.
Yeah, because I don't think we're wearing our armor, are we? Because we're in town.
But you still have hero's armor. It doesn't matter.
Okay, that's true. That's true. I don't
but
know
it
how
doesn't.
much that is.
But it doesn't matter. You feel this psychic attack on your mind, and you are intimately aware of what this feel is. You have done this. You have felt this before. Because you feel
What would this be?
like a psychic blast ripping through your mind and
Oh,
shields.
wonderful. Yeah,
Rude.
yeah.
And you
I know
are.
that.
You take 5 penetrating damage. So goes through armor.
Cool.
It ignores armor basically.
That's great.
And in that moment, the illusion shatters.
Yeah, I'd imagine it might, since they had to do a different magic action.
And you all see. Well,
Evil sorceress Cecilia, the monster. I don't.
no, hold please. Can I get Delmay to roll? Which lores do you have?
I have arcane and cultural.
Roll cultural lore, please. We'll use that.
Okey-dokey. 14.
That's good enough. Because you've seen this individual sort of maybe once, maybe twice, attending one of your parents' events when you were a small child. They didn't look like they currently do, but you can definitely recognize, well, underneath the appearance that it's currently wearing, it is Raoul Valent, standing in the middle of a circle of some sort of magic. Cecilia, unconscious at his feet in the middle of this circle.
Okay.
Ritzka, you immediately
Yes.
recognize without even having to roll. You don't know who this person is, but you recognize a lich when you see one.
Oh, I know liches, but he's not the Lich King.
No, but you
So-
recognize a lich when you see one.
He's just a lich jerk.
What a lich.
And you see the crackle of sorcery going through his hands as he waves and the door slams shut. And he begins to smile through that slightly pulled skin against the sides of his skull. His long, dark hair is kind of pulled back, but it looks a little limp now. And he smiles and says, "Well, this is a pleasure. I was looking forward to my little sister joining me, and now we have just the right tools to ensure it. I love when a plan comes together." And that's where we're going to end for today.
Yeah. I'm really glad I picked up those marble candlesticks. Let me just tell you what. That sounds like an impromptu mace or a flail. Wonk.
I mean, it is a bludgeoning weapon.
And that's your
Leave
favorite
us.
type, is bludgeoning weapons, so...
Leave our friend alone. Well, hopefully, if Bouchard has been in the psychic hall this whole time. So
he has
Bouchard
been. We
is on
told him what's up.
on the way here. Hopefully, he'll have roll weapons. Well,
Hopefully be like, I brought your weapon.
not our weapons, but at least he'll have his own.
He'll have his own. Maybe he
Did you,
brought ours,
was he
'cause-
in the psychic call before? When did you contact him?
At the bar.
At the bar when we were
We
after
said,
Russ
Cecilia,
failed.
we can't reach her. And, her house
Okay,
is
so
really
he's-
sus. We're gonna go investigate.
So he's
Yeah.
on his way. He
Yeah,
won't
Russ
be
is
late.
maintaining this-
He may
yeah.
not get there in time, but he will
That's
be.
true. But
He's
he
on
knows
the way.
where we are, and so
Yes.
he
Mhm.
knows that. Hopefully, he's riding a bearing.
And he's in the call.
He is in the call.
Yeah.
And so when Delmay next week says,
Yep.
"You should have just stayed dead," or whatever, he'll be able to hear that.
So, how we doing? We doing okay? We feeling all right?
Son of a lich.
Yes.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, it's been a fun episode. Phil started with jokes. We ended up here.
Secret jokes.
It's
You're not supposed to tell anyone.
So, full disclosure, y'all could have figured this out about what Raoul was
Yeah.
weeks ago.
You know, it didn't surprise me. If that.
Well, here's the thing. No one made the roll to figure it out at all, but...
Ritka didn't know what was happening. No
Well,
one
Yeah,
Delka-
Cecilia didn't tell us.
Well, she told Delme.
Well,
She told
still
Delme that her Del...
bits.
Yeah, well, she told Delme that she was concerned because her Del brother was talking to her.
Yeah.
She told Russ how Raoul died, and if she could have rolled, and the thing is, Raoul died as a corrupted fucking adept mage.
Oh.
Yeah, Ritka would have put that together, but no one told Ritka.
Yeah, no one
anything
told
about
Ritka
her
any
dead
about
brother
that. But I was
talking
like,
about it.
I was waiting
And so
for
she'd
the.
been like, you mean is he a lich? Because that is what happens when you die as a really corrupt sorcerer. He's
Where
become a lich.
Delbe's like, oh, he's probably a ghosty, like the ones we saw on the road, just reaching out to
And
say
Ritka be
hello.
like, no, no. But
You
Ritka
know
didn't
about the
know.
corruption.
Yeah, you didn't know about the corruption. You just knew that he died. He died.
Knew nothing, but we're gonna find out
Yeah.
how efficient candlesticks are against a lich next week. So
Yeah,
there's that.
yo.
I can't wait for this.
Maybe we'll be really lucky and there's like a nice like coat of arms on the wall with like the two swords and a shield. Probably not.
In
And
Cecilia's study,
Cecilia's
of all
office,
places.
Probably not. You know, it could be one of those family decorations that was left up, not hers. But no, I'm really thankful for candlesticks right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we'll go around in same order that we into the introductions. Let everybody give some love and share what they're feeling, what they're feeling about next week. You know, or you know, where we go from. You know what they're feeling. So why don't we start with Pooja? Hey Pooja, how yous? Thank yous.
Hello, everybody. I'm Pooja. I'm doing well. It was a fun session. I love it when we get to have some chill time, some jokes, some drama, and some action all in one episode. Always makes for a good evening. As for me, you can find me on Twitter at Pooja and at Pooja on Instagram and in the Twitch chat. And just to quickly go over my streaming schedule, I will be this Tuesday on the Manapot Studios channel, where we are starting off a brand new spoopy flight on the Flights of Fandom show for the month of October, where we will be playing in the wonderful world of Control. So I'm excited about that. And then on Thursday, you can find me over on Simon's channel, The Wandering DM, where I will be playing Sentinels of the Multiverse, a game in which we create comic book issues every week, and the chat gets to participate and influence actions live. And then other things are on the horizon. I don't have start dates yet, but you can find all the links to these streams and more information on my Twitter bio. And of course, I will be here next Sunday. Looking forward to see how this showdown with our friend's dead lich brother goes down. Nothing bad can come of this at all. And obviously there's no bad reason why Cecilia is lying there unconscious and unable to answer psychic calls. Yeah, this is gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine.
Yep. I'm sure everything will be great. And then next up, hey Trooper, how are you? How's life going
Hi.
for you today?
I'm doing well. I mean, I'm doing better than Cecilia is because she's unconscious. So I feel like we all are doing better than that. I'm Trooper SJP, and you can find me, at Trooper SJP on the Twitch or Academic Foxhole on the Twitter. And today is Sunday. You can find me next Wednesday over at Praxagor, the Smorface channel, which is this one, at 8, I believe, for The Witcher Roads Home. And then Friday at 7 on my channel, Trooper SJP, for City of Light and Shadow. I was like, that's the name of that show. A French Resistance campaign. And Yeah, I feel like Raoul might be rude. That's a possibility. I feel like he's perhaps not polite. And there was a whole conversation about like what could Raoul be? Could Raoul actually be Raoul or somebody else? There's a whole conversation about it. And we now know the answer to that question. Raoul is a lich.
But still
rude,
Raoul.
but
Just
still
lich
Raoul. Yeah, I wonder if Lich Raoul and like bad Revka, bad vampire Revka are friends and hang out and have tea. I don't even know if they have tea. I don't know if liches and vampires have tea. Maybe they should. Maybe they'd be nicer if they did. Who knows?
Vampires have tea. Witches don't need anything.
I feel like, look, PSA, people don't embrace corruption and become liches and vampires because it's bad on your skin. Just like the dark side in all the video games. Like it just messes with your skin. It's terrible for it. Do you hear that whole like thump thing? Sort of fleshy? Don't do it. Don't do lichdom, people. And that's me. I want to give love to Pooja for Delmay's behaving like a sovereign's finest at the front door. That's that little moment of like, we're here on official business. Yeah. That's me.
Great. Indeed.
Oh wait, I need to give my love. I forgot my love.
I was about to
My
ask.
love this week has to go to Russ's jokes. Because they made my night. They really did. It was hard for me to stay in character as Delbay, whose response is not to cackle, but it was amazing. I loved it. More Russ jokes, always.
Slowly, maybe one day other people will be able to hear them too. But right now, only Delmay can. That's it. Just Delmay can hear them.
Yep. Yep, indeed. And last but never least, hey Lindy, how you?
Hi. Yeah, they call me Laugh Love Lindy, not last least Lindy. My love goes to Prax tonight for her wonderful NPC work. I thought all the NPCs really shined a lot tonight. I thought they were just really lovely and wonderful, all of them. I just thought they were great. And you can find me online at Laugh Love Lindy, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, etc. I play and GM some tabletop RPGs, like tomorrow and Tuesday I'll be on my channel playing some D&D. Excuse me. And then on Wednesday I'll be here for Witcher. And then on Friday, you can find me on Trooper's channel for City of Light and Shadow, where my character, who's made pretty good decisions so far, I feel is about to make maybe some poor choices. And we'll see how that goes for her. It's gonna be great. Yeah.
Look, I have a question. Are they Cadarn level
Yes.
4 choices, or are they Watcher
No.
level 4 choices?
Neither. Maybe like Yanto level poor choices.
Ooh, okay.
Like nothing immediate or terrible bad, but probably gonna catch up with her eventually. That kind of, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Those are important things to know. And you should check all of these wonderful people out because they are all
Oh.
fabulous.
I'm also really thankful for candlesticks, so I don't have to fight a lich with books. That's all I'm gonna say. I also have one question for you about this room, Prax.
Yes.
So I can mull things over for next week. You said this is one of the rooms in the house that's lit.
Yes.
Now there's a fireplace. I assume that means there's a fire in the fireplace.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yes.
That's all.
But more importantly, are there pillows in this
I don't
room?
need pillows.
Oh.
I'm
I-
just thinking about walking over there,
I-
grabbing him and dragging his ass and shoving it in the fireplace. I don't imagine liches are
So
particularly...
you're bringing him to the
great at
fire, not bringing
grappling.
the fire to him.
Yeah, I just don't imagine liches are really great at like grappling. They don't have a lot of their ligaments and tendons as amazing as they used to be. So really spellcastery. I don't know for sure, but it's a strategy I might try next week.
They're
Just
feeling their age, right? They're just feeling their
yeah,
age.
maybe like you'll feel it in your bones as they're
Feel it in your
shoved in a
feet.
fireplace. I don't know. It's just a strategy. I think I might I think I might implement.
I just
Okay,
wanted to
come
know if they
here.
were throw pillows. That's
Where's your sister? That's
You
all.
know
Well,
where she
she's
is.
unconscious at his feet.
In the middle
Okay.
of a ritual circle.
In the
Why
middle
is
of
she
the-
unconscious? That's all. Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
He probably wants to take over her body. That's my guess. Be like, I'm
Yeah, yeah,
alive
yeah.
again, and I'm in a hot.
Drain
Body.
of all her vitae.
Yeah. Blech.
Why?
Rude.
He's already a lich. But as for me,
Oh.
hey
He's a
y'all, you know
dick.
me. I'm at Dojan on Twitter, or Prexgorth as Mia4 as you see me around here on Twitch. Thank you all for coming out and hanging out. I appreciate it. If you missed the beginning and you need to catch the VOD, it will be going up on YouTube probably tomorrow. It's where I put all those things. We see you over on YouTube. We appreciate all of your love and attention in the comments, and I try and make things better as I see them. So appreciate all of that. We will be back here Wednesday for more Richer Roads Home. With middle school dwarf romantic relationship drama. Among other things. There are other
Really
things going
good
on.
acting lessons.
Really good acting lessons. Interesting other things happening. We'll find out. We'll be back here at 8 on Wednesday. We will also be back here on Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern for the last of the players that we've met, last of the characters that we've met, solo episodes for Mekton Starplayed Battalion Seeds, as we're going to pick up with Rex and a message that Watcher sent him. And it's a very important question that I'm sure we all will want to know the answer to, because Watcher made a choice, y'all.
It was a choice. Choices were made.
And there will be
Orbital choices were made.
orbital choices were made. It's now, that choice that Pope made is now in the top 10 of my players making interesting choices for me to make things interesting. Right up there with Simon as Kadern, sending off a meth murder dagger, as I believe we're calling it. Orgasm.
The meth dagger of orgasms.
Orgasms.
Yeah.
Meth dagger of orgasms. And Robert Stone eating Simon as Robert Stone eating a page of the Necronomicon.
Oh. That's a choice.
So, there will be a Twitter post. See it, follow it, whatever. But anyways, follow me on Twitter, follow all of these people on Twitter, because I talk about all of these wonderful people because they are fabulous, and you should hang out with them because they're great friends. But as for us, we're gonna go. I should see if we could send some love someplace. That's what we want to do, right? I mean, that's really what we want to do. Why don't we go send some love to Noragama? Noiringwa. I keep doing that. Why? Let's go send some love to Noir. We're sending love to Noir.
We love Noir.
We do love Noir. But we'll see you next time, everybody. Bye.